He was born at the top of the world. His father was the first man to use the divine power, those who are called the first awakeners. His magic score was as high as 97%. But Zai Xian ultimately chose to become a martial arts awakener. This is because people at that time had a very low opinion of magic. He, who used to be a martial arts expert, can now only watch it on television, looking at the magic awakener who is surrounded by stars. It is known that the growth of awakened beings generally stops at the age of 20. It's too late for Zai Xuan to make any changes now. The only job he can do now. It means to be the meat shield of the raiding party. The inexplicable feeling I once had for Widow style. Long gone with the blows of reality. Fortunately, unexpected encounters happen from time to time in the copy. Although these fortunes could bring fatal threats to the awakened at any time. But this is also the hope that supports low-level awakened ones to survive. Everyone pay attention. We will enter in 10 minutes. Zai Xuan has a habit before entering each dungeon. He would take out his phone and look at a photo of him and his mother. After entering the instance, no one knows if they can make it out alive. This time, the instance seems simple. Their opponents are a group of zombies without powerful skills. Zai Xuan's task was to hold his position firmly with his shield. As brilliant spells of magic were cast one after another, the zombies in front of him were easily wiped out in an instant. The guild participating in this dungeon is Liuxing. They have already made a name for themselves, even though they were established not long ago. With such emotions, Zai Xian felt that he should be able to get out alive. Soon only the final boss remained in the instance. Taking advantage of his break, Zai Xian wanted to see the results so far. At this moment, the system panel glitched for the first time. What followed was a wave of focused excitement. The Asa Divine system, which humanity relies on for survival, has collapsed. Zai Xuan seemed to hear someone telling him to follow the light. The Asa system kept sending notifications. The Asa system was originally infiltrated by an unknown alien. Zai Xian was still curious whether this alien was the sound he had heard. When he turned around, he found that dots of light had inexplicably appeared around him. And no one else saw these anomalies besides him. These spots of light seemed to exist only for Zai Xian. Thus, Zai Xian decided to follow the light to see what it was. Along the way, he countless times wanted to awaken the Asa God system. But unfortunately, the Asa God system is always in a state of crisis. This has never happened in 17 years. A giant tree suddenly grew up in the Pacific Ocean that year. With only 9 days, it grew into a world-covering achievement. And that tree is the world tree from the mythical story. On the 9th day after the tree grew up, many monsters have successively appeared around the world, brought unprecedented disasters to mankind. Half of humanity has thus lost their survival. And then half of the survivors died of famine and disease. At this moment, the Asa God system appeared. It grants people divine power, making them awakened beings. This allowed human civilization to survive. The Asgard system, on which humanity depends for survival, has suddenly collapsed. The mysterious voice led Zai Xuan to follow the light spot. And at the end of these points of light, it was simply an ancient, rustic door. Zai Xuan guessed that this might be the legendary treasure. Rumor has it that this only appears in high-level instances. Behind it lies a room filled with countless treasures. For Zai Xian, this was the only chance to change his life. With unease, it pushed open the door. But there weren't endless things as rumored. The only thing in the room. The sphere placed in the center. Zai Xuan naturally didn't want to give up this opportunity to change his fate. He reached out for the ball without the slightest hesitation. At the moment Zai Xian touched the sphere, the Asgard system has been repaired. It turns out this is a mythical item, Odin's eye of the instrument. He can not only decompose but also destroy the computational construction of magic. He can also easily copy other people's skills. Moreover, the most advanced prop so far is only S level. Odin's mythical eye of the instrument master is enough to let Zai Xian live the rest of his life without worry. Having obtained the treasure, Zai Xian prepared to return. When he returned, he found everyone was there. This time, Zai Xian completely suppressed his inner dissatisfaction. Because once it's known that he got good stuff in the dungeon, then, the only thing awaiting Zai Xian is death. Fortunately, this time he successfully fooled her. What he needs to do now. No one should doubt his departure. But just on the eve of the final battle, an accident happened. For 3 months, giant rocks kept smashing into the. Then came a large swathe of strange poisonous creatures. Many crispy mages directly fell between these poisons. Zai Xuan still wanted to remind everyone to completely get rid of the poison. But the man in front of him was suddenly spun by a sword. Zai Xian realized that there must be an enemy hidden among the poisonous substances. He immediately fled without any hesitation. Zai Xian finally obtained the mythical item, and he didn't want to lose his life here. The next second, a lightning chain shot past his spearhead. The one who exploded completely blocked his destination. Zai Xuan couldn't help but wonder who this person was. I knew it. Brother, you will definitely survive. Zai Xian did not expect that it was Jing Yiming who ambushed everyone. Jing Yiming has always been Zai Xian's agent. He is a level 1 magic awakener. Jing Yiming helped Zai Xian find many good jobs. This also includes this copy task. I told you. I will come to see you today. Did you do all this? You are the one spreading poison. Also attack the Liuxing Guild. Yes, I did all of these. However, these are all things my client asked me to do. Many people already dislike the Liuxing Guild. They look down on other jobs so much, how could they not attract hatred? Ding Yiming. Today, I will pretend I didn't see these things. Kahua, because of the falling lightning chains, once again could not recall. Guh. The target of this attack is not just the Meteor Guild. A male agent who provides jobs. Unexpectedly, she was the assassin sent to kill the man. With Zai Xuan's Earth-ranked martial arts combat department's strength. He is definitely not Jing Yiming's opponent in advanced magic. If he just reacted to you, he must have been killed by Jing Yiming. But Jing Yiming did not intend to let him go. 3 lightning chains once again moved towards Zai Xuan's shoes. Fortunately, Zai Xian, relying on his Wudo-style martial arts skills, blocked it again. He couldn't help but wonder who he had offended before. It's incredible that they would send a level 1 magic awakening to kill me. Suddenly, a familiar voice echoed in Zai Xian's mind. Did my father send you? Hearing this, Jing Yiming was clearly stunned. For a moment, everyone forgot to attack Zai Xian, who was standing still. Jing Yiming stood still and kept attacking. He finally couldn't help but burst into laughter. Ji's reaction was really fast. I like this point about you. Zai Xian could not help but think of his mother in the photo. I will ask you one last question. 5 years ago, in winter, he also entrusted you with the same matter. You can even guess this? That's really awesome. I really cannot understand how, as a father, he could kill his own wife first. He wanted to kill his wife again. Brother, you think this is too much, too? But it's already like this. Farewell, brother. At the moment of death, Zai Xuan used the Odin Nishii. A blinding light suddenly appeared before Jing Yiming's eyes. He found that Zai Xuan's magic power was constantly climbing. To avoid any unexpected incidents, Jing Yiming decided not to continue playing. This time, the lightning chain flew towards Zai Xian at extreme speed. Just as Zai Xuan was about to be struck by the lightning chains, Jing Yiming's lightning chains suddenly dissipated. For a moment, Jing Yiming's eyes widened, and he froze on the spot. Just now, Zai Xuan equipped the Odin's Eye. He also used a blank card to copy the lightning chain. Jing Yiming, I will make you die as painfully as possible. The words had just left his mouth when 6 lightning chains appeared behind Zai Xuan. You should know that this skill was developed by Jing Yiming after he spent a lot of time. But now it is easily mastered by a D-class martial arts system. He even suppressed Jing Yiming, a first-level magic user, during the battle. Jing Yiming uses every lightning chain. All will be destroyed by Zai Xian's absolute eye calculation. But Jing Yiming could not dodge the lightning chain used by Zai Xian. He could only use a magic shield to withstand Zai Xian's attack. It was at this moment that Zai Xuan activated his absolute eye again. Bao lost her magic shield. Jing Yiming could no longer resist the lightning chain's attack. After killing Jing Yiming, Zai Xian also fell. The previous battle drained all his physical strength and magic power. The mythical item I finally obtained will now accompany me to the afterlife. But just at this time, the new operating system download is complete. He gave Zai Xuan a memory of traveling back to the past. Zai Xuan has no choice but to execute the system. Thus, the Nuancy system began operating. In a daze, Zai Xuan seemed to see an angel. They chanted some kind of magic. Finally, she slowly reached out her hand to Zai Xian. Zai Xian did not hesitate to reach out and hold the angel's hand. Just then, the nun system prompted Zai Xian. He became the greatest enemy of the Asgardian gods. He is a father. He first sent someone to kill his wife. He also sent people to deal with his son. Luckily, Zai Xuan was equipped with the Odin ritual eye. This finally finished the shout to kill Jing Yiming. To get a chance to survive, he changed the Asa system to the Norse system. But he also became the greatest enemy of the Asgard. When Zai Xian opened his eyes, he was back in a familiar place. He abruptly stood up and began to observe his surroundings. Until she saw the photo of herself and her mother on the desk. Zai Xian didn't know if this was a dream. Even if everything in front of him was a dream he had before his death. Zai Xuan also wants to stay in this dream forever. Because his deceased mother was here. However, his current physical function has only recovered to 20%. The nun system gave him his first task, to restore his physical strength to 80%. The reward was a blank card. Zai Xian needs to do now. It is to first determine the time you are in. When Zai Xian got the calendar, he smiled. Because he returned to the day before he filled out his application. This time he will definitely not make the same mistake as last time. It's time to eat. Zai Xian still could not hold back the tears in his eyes. A scene that appeared in my dream countless times. It is actually happening before his eyes now. But mother was very worried. Is Zai Xuan participating in any activities? The originally dull child. But she cried so sadly when she had to leave in the morning. Therefore, the mother was curious to know if Zai Xian had any worries. No. I just had a nightmare while I was sleeping. A nightmare Zai Xian doesn't want to see again. Mom, actually there's something I've always wanted to tell you. I want to change my major to magic. Zai Xian had always been determined to study martial arts. But mother knew she would never joke about such a thing. Do as you think. Compared to making money. Mom hopes you'll do what you want to do. Magician or otherwise. Mom will always support you. Zai Xuan knew now was not the time to cry. She had to take revenge on her level 1 awakener. So she had to quickly complete the task that the Norn system gave her. After completing the task, Zai Xian also received a blank card. Her current advantage. It's just knowing some hidden levels and exclusive first class. However, Zai Xian's current skills are all from my game playing. She simply decided to check her system interface first. Now Zai Xian's level has returned to 7. His attributes have also been initialized. But she was curious why her passive skill had not been initialized. Originally, due to the effect of being watched by the gods, Zai Xian's passive skill from before his time travel was retained. Moreover, she gains 1 point in all attributes for each level she increases, but the other skill, Zai Xian, doesn't understand her effect. Zai Xuan simply decided to allocate his points first. It goes without saying that magic is essential for mages. But the most important thing is perseverance. Although endurance does not directly increase combat effectiveness, but it can slow down the pace of fatigue. Next, Zai Xuan will consider which skill to learn. Now she even has powerful attack skills. The power of magic also makes it impossible to use the skills effectively. And now the status of magic awakeners is very low. So the best option is to learn a healing skill. And Ran has the ability to copy other people's skills. She can learn any skill, no matter how powerful, in an instant. But Zai Xuan did not want the magic that could destroy the world, but prepared to learn a healing skill. Her current attributes are insufficient to support high-level magic. Moreover, wizards are now in a very low position. If one learns healing skills, wherever she goes, she won't be looked down upon. However, the biggest problem now is finding a healer awakener. Just then, Zai Xian's phone was under. She couldn't help but wonder who would call her at this hour. Zai Xian froze when he picked up his phone. So it was him who called her. He is her childhood friend. They grew up together and were admitted to Miles College together. All have the dream of becoming a hunter. But later, Jin Yiqing died because of Zai Xian's suspicion. Fortunately, this time Zai Xuan has a chance to change everything. Jin Yiqing called to ask Zai Xian to accompany her to see the saint. Know that saintess Lu Xing'an is currently the strongest healing awakened. Her most representative magic is traps. Since there is such a person, Zai Xuan doesn't need to find any other healing type awakened. After greeting her mother, Zai Xuan immediately set off. At the same time, Lu Xing'an is sitting in a Rolls-Royce on her way to the event venue. Xuansai kept persuading Liu Xing'an to reduce this unnecessary ascetic practice along the way, because the sacrifice does not consume Liu Xing'an's demon, but his life. If she continues to participate in these unnecessary demons, perhaps Liu Xing'an will soon be tied up. Unless another person who can use sacrificial magic can be found. Soon, the two are sitting in the meeting hall, waiting for Liu Xing'an's arrival. Hello everyone. I am Liu Xing'an. Everyone. Now the whole world is facing an unprecedented disaster. Yggdrasil and the appearance of the monsters. It took the lives of many people. Less than 20% of the current awakened are willing to become hunters. But the death toll is several times this number. The world is still at a crossroads between life and death. Now there are countless innocent people facing death. What we need now is courage. Awakened ones of the world. Your courage can change the world. Everyone is encouraged to sign up and become a hunter. Let the world regain its light. For a better tomorrow. Lotus Guild and Weben. We will fully support you all. After the speech, Zai Xian found an excuse to separate from Jin Yiqing. So he wanted to take the opportunity to establish a relationship with Liu Xing'an. After searching for a while, Zai Xian saw Liu Xing'an's car. I am here to see Chairman Liu Xing'an. Xingcai still thought that Zai Xian was a fanatical fan of the practitioner. Then she thought of saying a few words casually to dismiss him. I am not his diehard fan. I know that Chairperson Liu Xing'an is now suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Only I can cure Chairman Liu Xing'an's illness. As soon as he finished speaking, Zai Xuan was lifted up by Xingcai. Tell me where you learned about this. Just then, Lu Xing'an's car window opened. Can you be responsible for what you just said? The world's most powerful healing awakened. However, he was terminally ill and did not have long to live, because he has the strongest recovery skill Trap. This skill does not consume mana, but it is the vitality. But at this time, Zai Xian said he could cure Lu Xing'an. Seeing Zai Xuan's righteous and indignant look, Lu Xing'an decided to believe him for now. You get in the car first. This place is full of people, let's go somewhere quiet. Zai Xian was quickly taken to the Lianhua Trade Union's conference room. How did you know I was terminally ill? I'm not comfortable telling you this. If you must know, I can speak too. But if you say it, I won't treat you. He is indeed a smart child. The next question, how do you plan to treat me? I'm planning to replicate Chairman's skills. Hearing Zai Xian's words, Lu Xing'an was stunned. Chairman, don't listen to his nonsense anymore. Do you know what the skill of is? Just making things up here. Originally, performing a show of skill was Lu Xing'an's exclusive skill. This skill cannot be replicated and can only be passed down through bloodlines. If you don't have the ability, I won't come to you anymore. You mean you want to use my special skills to heal me? Since you have said so, then prove it to me. As soon as the words left her mouth, Lu Xing'an performed her special skill. Zai Xuan did not hesitate. Immediately used a blank card to copy the skill. You should not believe it yet. So first, I need to gain your trust. Saying this, Zai Xuan used the sacrificial technique he had just copied. Because it was obtained using a blank card, the side effects of performing the technique did not affect Zai Xuanxing. For a moment, both Lu Xing'an and Xingcai were stunned. Okay, now let's sit down and have a good talk. What do you want from our union? Knowing that Jingping can treat Lu Xing'an, Zai Xian can already be on par with him. I would like to invite you to be my sponsor. Since you have the courage to make such a request, it means you are worthy of investment. And you are indeed very famous. But I also have one condition. My illness is my personal matter. This has nothing to do with the Lotus Union. However, what you want is not only my support, and the support of the entire Lotus Workers Union. We won't help you for no reason, unless you join the Lotus Guild. Zai Xian thought Lu Xing'an would propose some restrictive conditions. It turned out to be an invitation for him to join the union. Don't worry. I'm not someone who jokes about this kind of thing. I invite you to join our union. Here are a few reasons. 1. First, you know this Lotus Guild of mine. This is the question of immortality. Without extremely strong intelligence gathering capabilities, you can't know this confidential information. Second, you can perfectly replicate my restricted secrets. So far, no one has been able to replicate the exclusive machine. Your future holds infinite possibilities. 3. Now you are not nervous at all in front of me. The Alma who can stand in front of the Lotus Guild's president without being nervous. Shindarang Waganjua and Ihan Yumeli. I don't know if my reasons for recruiting you are sufficient enough. In her previous life, the Lotus Guild was the strongest kung fu guild in the country. However, after Lu Xing'an became critically ill, it quickly collapsed for some reason. But with Zai Xuan's help, he believes none of this would have happened. Pursued by tens of thousands of people. Lu Xing'an, who is called the Saint. At this moment, however, it was to invite Zai Xian to join the guild. She is willing to sell her body. This is because Zai Xuan can perfectly replicate others' exclusive skills. Can also cure Lu Xing'an's stubborn illness. However, if signing a union contract with students is illegal. Have you heard of the right of first refusal? Just tell me the address. I'll take the contract inside right away. Think carefully before making a decision. Then I'll treat you first. Then, Zai Xuan stood behind Liu Xing'an. At this moment, Xingcai's heart was extremely nervous. For Lu Xing'an's illness, he didn't know how many healing awakenings he had already sought. Even those who are dedicated to their medical studies. Everyone is at a loss. Now he could only place his last hope on Zai Xuan. To his surprise, Liu Xing'an's condition visibly improved. I am sorry about what just happened. I'm counting on you, Chairman. It's okay. If I were you, I wouldn't believe a child either. For my previous unreasonable behavior, I will apologize to you again. After the treatment ends, Zai Xuan's passive emergency treatment technique has also reached level 19. Under their gaze, Lu Xing'an cautiously approached the window. The medical condition that has bothered me for years really all disappeared. Thank you. But after you cure me, you will be affected by side effects. It's okay. Chairman, you can treat me later. Of course, I can treat you anytime. This is my tomorrow. I will try my best to meet all your requirements. The conditions just mentioned. I also hope you will reconsider it. I actually have something I would like to ask the chairman for help with. The next morning, Xingcai drove to pick up Zai Xian. Originally, Zai Xian hoped to use the low-level instances of the Lotus Guild to level up. Because Miles Academy is a place where countless geniuses gather. To survive there, upgrade is inevitable. For this strategy event, the Lotus Guild prepared a lot of supplies for Zai Xian. But due to time constraints, he could only be temporarily given some surplus equipment from the labor union. Shinsai has always been worried about Zai Xuan's safety. Although it's only a level 1 subsidiary. But it's still very dangerous for Zai Xian to go in alone. Don't worry. I just want to level up. Due to necessity, Shinsai had to open his belongings. Take this, it can ensure your safety. After smashing him, you can immediately return to the guild entrance. If you encounter danger, use it immediately. Please accept it. Consider it an apology for my rudeness yesterday. This is also a thank you gift. Thank you, good chairman. Shin-san had said so much, Zai Xuan couldn't refuse any longer. Judging from the magic felt here, this is indeed a first-class attachment. This level is absolutely no problem for Zai Xuan. Always remember to use the teleportation device the moment you encounter danger. But Zai Xian stepped into the instance. He felt the surrounding magical illness. Due to the influence of the nun system, Zai Xuan was teleported to the King's Fish of Hyming Realm. Humans are originally sacred beings who are oblivious to the worldly desires. But because she sat on the man's leg for a moment, Lu Xing'an could never forget that feeling. This is his first time starting to miss a man. Whenever I think of Zai Xuan, his lips even can't help but reveal a dangerous smile. Just at this moment, his secretary Tiao Xian'a, Zai Xian's personal information is all here. After receiving the materials, Lu Xing'an then began to slowly flip through the pages. He was soon startled by the information in front of him. Zai Xian, who can use such powerful magic? His aspiration is to study 5 departments. Lu Xing'an quickly froze completely. He even doubted the authenticity of this information. Because Zai Xuan's magic score is as high as 97%. After Zai Xuan comes out, you immediately turn to him. He must come and see me. I want to personally confirm the child's true talent. At this time, Zai Xian was teleported to the king by the North system. The scene before his eyes told him. This is definitely not a Class A affiliated hospital. When Zai Xian was observing the surroundings, the cloaked figure in the mist slowly raised his bow and arrow. The next second, a black arrow flew straight towards Zai Xian. Hearing the noise, Zai Xian promptly turned his head and dodged the attack. He immediately looked in the direction from which the arrow came. The man in black slowly drew an arrow from his quiver. He raised his bow and arrow again, aiming. While the arrows have not been shot yet, Zai Xuan immediately used the sacrifice to heal his wounds. But it's right here. A hand reached out of the ground. And behind Zai Xuan, a ghost appeared. It was unknown when. Suddenly, 3 distinct monsters appeared before him. Not really at this time. The black-robed man's arrow flew straight towards him. This time, Zai Xian easily held the arrow in his hand. But defeating these monsters in front of me is not easy. Although sacrificial offerings are highly damaging to undead creatures. But sacrificing something of a high level will consume a lot of magic. If you encounter higher-level monsters later, Zai Xuan's situation is very dangerous. So he had to rely on his previous life's martial arts experience to fight. Moreover, Zai Xian has knowledge of magic. The enemies in front of me are perfect for practice. It seems to be due to the rank. Zai Xuan discovered these monsters were not very difficult to deal with. Even with his current strength, he can still do it with ease. He simply charged straight ahead with his staff. Our blow landed right on the black-robed person's forehead. But it was this attack. Break Zai Xuan's staff completely? At this moment, even Dao Yuling and Shigejianshi charged over together. Unable to do otherwise, Zai Xian could only use traps to attack them. Almost instantly, the 2 monsters vanished in the holy light. Zai Xuan, however, fell to the ground because he had used up too much magic. If it weren't for the fact that I just leveled up, Zai Xuan is in a very dangerous situation now. He knows very well that his strength is not yet enough to clear this level. But just as he was preparing to teleport away, but suddenly felt a chill, Zai Xian could feel something approaching him. This terrifying aura even made him breathless. He quickly stabbed his thigh with his staff, attempting to regain some clarity. It was at this moment he saw a sudden appearance of a star on the ground. Men are just challenging ordinary first-level parents. Unexpectedly, Kei was transported to the king's speech of the Hamuning realm. The monster inside just stood behind Zai Xuan. It would make him gasp for breath in fear. Standing in front of Anya Yuhan, he didn't even have a chance to use teleportation. Zai Xian could only close his eyes and accept his secret. When he opened his eyes again, he found that time had stopped. No, that boy is someone I brought here myself. He is a distinguished guest. Children chosen by fate to be rebels. Zai Xuan was very curious about who this woman in front of him was. He can defeat other rebels, but he is only a small spearhead. 5 ordinary. However, the magic power is not bad. But it's far from being able to fight against the Asgard gods. I really don't understand why Loki chose such a small fry like you. Due to excessive blood loss. Zai Xuan's consciousness was gradually fading. But he hasn't finished restoring his power, so he absolutely cannot fall here. I am quite satisfied with your eyes. But you're still too weak. Time is running out. You need to become stronger faster. If you cannot become stronger, before the spirit descends again in hell, I will first transform. You are a very important work to us, so I can give you another chance. Hurry up and become strong. Become stronger than now. Come and defeat the shadows and temptations in front of you. If you do it, I will give you a wonderful gift. I will only give you 2 months. If you can't do it, you know what the consequences will be. Thus, Zai Xian accepted Hare's task. You must remember, if you can't let me see your growth during this period, I will personally send you to the underworld. Good luck. The children chosen by Norns. Zai Xuan opened his eyes and found himself back at the entrance to the dungeon. His injuries miraculously healed. But the mission in the Norn system told him everything that just happened was real. And the woman he just met. It is Hel, the goddess of death who rules the 9 worlds. However, regarding what Hel said, Zai Xian had absolutely no clue. But one thing is certain, he must hurry up and become stronger. If what he just said is true, when Zai Xian stopped, he will be changed without hesitation. It's imaginable that he could defeat Shadow in 2 months, but then again, he also negotiated with Yuan. Now Zai Xian isn't even familiar with how mages fight. To lay a solid foundation, the best option is to get help from Liu Xing'an. But just at this time, Xingcai then asked him to meet Liu Xing'an tomorrow. The next morning, Xingcai then brought Zai Xian to the Lianhua Workers' Union. Zai Xuan guessed they might have seen his awakening assessment results. Mingming possessed an extremely high talent in magic, but he chose martial arts as his vocation. This is all because the television station has been exaggerating the air magic department. Meanwhile, the magic department has been belittled as worthless. They soon arrived at the Lianhua Workers' Union training ground. Seeing Liu Xing'an, Zai Xian immediately froze. You are finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Liu Xing'an, the saint, is incredibly dignified in front of others. To get Zai Xian, she took the initiative to change into a hot outfit. You are finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time. How about the terms of the contract? I think the terms I've offered are quite good. Liu Xing'an's conditions for Zai Xian are all in his favor. Moreover, the treatment is almost exclusively enjoyed by the most notorious criminals. I just told Manager Xingcai. I have one more request before signing the contract with you. It's okay. What else do you need? Just say it. Before I make this request, I believe you have already seen my personal information. I transferred from the martial arts department to the magic department less than a month ago. So I'm still not very skilled in using magic. Chairman Liu Xing'an, I hope you can teach me magic yourself. Liu Xing'an is one of the few people in the world. Lanzi Jiali Xieja Xingcai Mei Xiangao Zai Xuan Hirangan Tichijizhong Yaoqiu. If you can accept my conditions, then I will sign a priority negotiation agreement with the Lotus Union. That's quite an interesting request. I can agree to your request. After all, I am very interested in you. But before that, I want to confirm your thoughts. Do you mind? However, this was actually within Zai Xuan's expectations. After all, such good conditions have been offered. The Lotus Union will definitely test his strength first. But Xian Kai saw his meaning from Liu Xing'an's expression. Liu Xing'an simply snapped his fingers. A powerful magic flowed from his back. As you can see, this is the magic of the law. From now on, you will conquer this magic. Note that magic and sorcery are generally B-class or higher magic series. This is used to understand magic resonance. And less than 7% of people can conquer him. Is this a good opportunity to show your strength? If it is a person worthy of the Lotus Labor Union signing the priority negotiation right. At least it should be at this level, shouldn't it? So you want to blunt my spirit. Why do I have to be so reasonable? Even if you fail, I will still sign a contract with you. The terms in the contract also will not. I guarantee this to you as the president of the Lotus Guild. Xin Saigu, please help prepare. Chairman. The magic cube is a device that even mages specializing in general magic find difficult to conquer. Moreover, Ming Zixuan is not yet mature. Do you think the child in front of us is an ordinary person? Don't worry, he is worth a try. In this way, Xincai opened the magic cube for Zai Xian. Zai Xuan had heard of the magic cube of power in his previous life. But he was still quite shocked when he actually saw her. Let's start when you are ready. I expect you to achieve great results. Thus, under the gaze of the two, Zai Xian slowly walked into the magic cube. Actually, I'm still a little worried. I completely understand your curiosity about him, Chairman. But he was just a child. Trust me, that child can definitely do it. Why are you so sure? This is probably a woman's intuition. Let's see how long you really need. Can she escape from the magic cube? Lu only has 7% of the magic cube's power. Inside it was unexpectedly a vast sea formed by the convergence of magic power. Although mana is essential for using skills, if you are constantly surrounded by something with an excessively high mana concentration, heart and lung function will rapidly decline and even lead to death. And there is only one way to get out of here, that is, among countless vortexes. Find the only door connecting to the outside world. Zai Xuan calmed down and began to feel the magical fluctuations around him. He felt that there was something different in the vortex in front of him. As he approached the vortex, he discovered that it was actually a crystal. And he seems to carry all the magic power in the vast sea. You look like Zai Xian can definitely come out of the Rubik's Cube. Then how long do you think he needs? I previously spent 40 minutes. This is already the fastest speed in the whole country. So now there are only two possibilities. The first one is that he cannot lose the magic cube. Another is that he will create new skills. And I think Zai Xuan won't crawl out of there sick. But the next second, Lu Xing'an widened her eyes. X and Kai Ge, look over there quickly. Hearing this, X and Kai quickly looked at the magic cube. The magic cube had already had a mechanical breakdown. For a moment, the two stood face to face outside. Because now Zai Xian has gone in. Only 10 minutes have passed. They were curious about what exactly happened to Zai Xian inside. Originally, Zai Xuan discovered the crystal. He was convinced that this must be the key to the magic cube of passage. Therefore, he immediately held the crystal in his hand. As the crystal in his hand was crushed, this vast sea of magic also broke. Zai Xuan also gained a new passive skill, the essence of using magic power. However, this scene shocked the two people outside. Because the magic cube's escape rate is only 7%. And it takes them more than 3 hours on average to get out of it. Initially, S-rank Lu Xing'an also took almost 40 minutes. Even Kaami, who passed the magic cube the fastest, it also took 36 minutes. And now Zai Xian has broken this record. Even faster than the world record by 26 minutes. That's amazing. You only took 10 minutes. Ming Zai Xuan, I want to ask you a question. You escaped from the magic cube so fast. How was it done? I found a crystal in the Rubik's Cube. I broke it and came out. What did you break? Did you break that crystal? You should know that the crystal contains all the magic power of the Rubik's Cube. Ordinary awakeners couldn't possibly find it, let alone break it. This means Zai Xian's mana is more powerful than the mana crystal. Ming Zai Xuan. Congratulations on passing the test. From today onwards I, Lu Xing'an, will bet the Lotus Trade Union and my language. I will definitely train you to be the most powerful magician. Are you ready? The scene shifts. Jin Yuqing and Zai Xian's mother are finally returning home together. At this moment, a Rolls-Royce slowly appeared in front of the two. The next second, Zai Xian stepped out of the car. For a moment, neither of them could believe their eyes. They even guessed whether Zai Xuan was kept by a rich woman. Lin Nen also used his skills to cure the old woman's illness. Lu Xing'an rediscovered the joy of being human. Zai Xian got to ride in a Rolls-Royce at this age. Each trip is accompanied by a first-level awakened. But Zai Xian's recent unusual alcohol. This aroused Jin Yuqing's suspicion. Chu Zai Xian gave up his martial arts dream besides wanting to slaughter from the mysterious luxury car. Zai Xuan explained that he was not suitable for the martial arts department. This is transferred to the magic department. Cause Zai Xuan's close friend Jin Yuqing simply didn't believe it. He wanted to prevent his mother from suffering. This is why she chose the unsuitable martial arts department. Okay. Don't mention it again. So how did you come to Widow? Are your parents on a business trip again? So I came to play with you? My aunt said I could stay here for a night. To know that Jin Yuqing is a genuine rich second-generation mistress. Her parents will sell Warcraft products to various countries. Therefore, they often travel abroad on business trips. Because of this, Jin Yuqing is often home alone. Because Zai Xian's mother has a good relationship with her parents. Therefore, Jin Yuqing often stays at Zai Xian's home. Should I take this opportunity to teach you some magic? Do you want me to teach you for free? What do you want? No matter what wish I make, you have to help me with my internship. I understand, but the deadline for this commitment is 1 year. If you haven't made a wish within a year, then sit down. A stingy fellow. Alright then. So Jin Yuqing's memory isn't that great. If it's a year, Zai Xuan believes he will forget. Seeing Zai Xuan's malicious intent, Jin Yuqing grabbed a pillow nearby and threw it at him. Previously, Zai Xian would have undoubtedly retaliated. Having gone through so much, He now finds his life incredibly cozy. Meanwhile, a powerful raider is attacking Z. He was already surrounded by the corpses of monsters. And this man is Zai Xian's father, Zai Xianao. Thanks to you, we were able to easily defeat this monster. It has been a long time since I defeated a monster so easily. If you can join our guild, then we will be even stronger. Would you consider joining our guild? If it's you, our Xinghong guild will definitely give you the best treatment. But next year. The man felt a terrifying aura emanating from Zai Xianao. Zai Xianao Huang turned his head back. His eyes were hollow. And the man was firmly bound by invisible chains. Dirty and shameless. It is also filled with incomparably despicable greed. This is simply human nature. No. Not only humans. After Zai Xianao disappeared, the man lost all his recent memories. The first day after signing the mistress contract, Lu Xing'an is about to test Zai Xian's sensitivity. The test method is to have actual combat with Lu Xing'an. It's too difficult to go into actual combat right from the start. This doesn't seem like something you should say. You can escape from the Rubik's Cube in 10 minutes. Come on. Attack me? Zai Xian didn't say anything. He immediately assumed a fighting stance. Lu Xing'an instantly recognized this as the standard stance of the martial arts department. Zai Xian punched forward with all his might. Unexpectedly, this punch was easily caught by Lu Xing'an. Zai Xuan didn't expect his attack to be ineffective. You should know that Lu Xing'an is a magic practitioner. Seeing the attack fail, Zai Xian quickly created some distance. It seems like you still haven't understood some things. You are no longer the martial arts warrior you once were. How could a magician attack without a plan? What do you think is the biggest difference between the martial arts department and the magic department? Wudo is a close-range attack. The magic department is a ranged attack. That's right. Generally speaking, magic-type hunters will first weaken the enemy from a distance. Then he went back into battle. This is the most traditional way of fighting. But you always want to get close to the enemy. In this case, mages with weaker defenses will quickly be taken down. You now need the experience of a magician. From now on, I will also launch an attack on you. But don't worry, I won't let you get seriously injured. Moreover, I am a healer. I know those weren't your true thoughts just now. Let me see your true ability. Before the words even finished, Lu Xing'an's attack went straight towards Zai Xian. Fortunately, Zai Xuan dodged the attack by instinct. Okay, now it's your turn to attack. Suddenly, a flash of lightning appeared around Zai Xian. In an instant, 3 lightning chains flew towards Lu Xing'an. Looking back, Lu Xing'an remained standing still. At this distance, Lu Xing'an is definitely unable to avoid this attack. It was a first-level lightning chain. You are really hiding your true abilities. The next second, Lu Xing'an's attack had already reached Zai Xian's side. Even the most powerful skills. If it's not right for you. In Lu Xing'an's view, Zai Xian's current state must make him unable to dodge my attacks. But to achieve the purpose of teaching, he still unhesitatingly released the skill. Lu Xing'an's sacred bow and arrow unexpectedly dissipated in midair. The only explanation is, Zai Xuan calculated and destroyed his magic in such a short time. You always surprise me. How many more surprises are waiting for me? I can't say for sure. Before he could finish his sentence, a chain of lightning suddenly shot out from the ground. Fortunately, Lu Xing'an opened the protective shield in time to block it. But even so, Lu Xing'an's hand was still trembling from the shock. But before he could react, tree-like lightning bolts appeared again behind Zai Xuan, blocking his way. Lu Xing'an then discovered that Zai Xuan seemed to be able to release skills without casting spells. Can freely release skills without casting spells. One glance can make the magic of an S-rank awakener ineffective. You have to know this is not something a novice magician can do. But Zai Xian's magic power had also been almost completely depleted. You really have a unique talent. It's a pity that you are still too capable. Zai Xian did not understand what had happened. He was already lying on the ground. You don't think you can beat me, do you? Even so, Lu Xing'an immediately pulled Zai Xuan up from the ground. After this battle, Zai Xian realized the gap between him and S-rank. However, Lu Xing'an saw unlimited potential in Zai Xian. Your fighting style just now gave me an idea. Everyone has considered this, but no one can achieve it. Only you can use this fighting style. From now on, you can call me teacher. Congratulations on becoming my first disciple. After returning home, Zai Xian still cannot forget today's battle. Wei Mingzhuan. Are you even listening to me? If you are like this, I will not tutor you. Since you have come to your senses. Buff magic. There are also healing magic. As Zai Xuan's understanding of magic continued to improve, the Norn's system also kept sending him pop-up reminders. This feeling is like the system is urging Zai Xian to hurry up and get things done. You are really awesome. The magic that takes others a month to learn, you can master in 2 days. What's wrong with that? Didn't you learn it in 3 days too? Your growth is so fast that it makes me anxious. Little did they know, Zai Xuan was actually more anxious than Jin Youqing, because he had already gambled his life with the goddess of death. When you initially wanted to do martial arts scenes, you knew how surprised I was. Even if magic shows don't make much money. But you can't ignore such a high match rate. In a flash, Zai Xian seemed to see countless strands of noodles. Then a man slowly appeared behind him. The man walked step by step towards Zai Xian. Then she whispered something in Zai Xuan's ear. Speaking of which, you should also be practicing practical skills. Zai Xuan was dealing with Jin Yiqing while recalling what had just happened. He wasn't sure if those people were his enemies. He seemed to hear some strange sounds. However, Zai Xuan doesn't have time to deal with these matters now, because he only has 2 months. Unless he can get a panacea to break this situation, meow meow. The screen is accurate. Xingcai is currently inspecting the martial arts training ground of the Lianhua Workers' Union. His task is to find problems with the new recruits, and help them correct it in time. Seeing Lu Xing'an come, Xingcai went over to report today's training situation. However, Lu Xing'an looked absent-minded all the time. You must be thinking about Zai Xian, right? I can't hide anything from you. If I'm not mistaken, Chairman, you want to give something to Zai Xian. This is a challenge many hunters have faced, but no one has ever succeeded. You should also see Zai Xuan's talent. If a new S-class hunter appears in the magic department later, I believe that person must be Zai Xuan. He will bring earth-shattering changes to the magic department. Create a Dan demon that can increase magic power. Li Zaixuan, the genius alchemist who saved all mankind, unexpectedly choosing to unconditionally announce Dan Yao's cooperation, to bring more help to hunters all over the world. But even such selfless dedication suffered humiliation throughout student days. So the Scarlet Demon will be created by Li Zaixuan 5 years later. Although Zai Xian already knew to cooperate, but he made poison according to the steps. Zai Xuan had no choice but to go see the currently Zai Xuan. With his talent, perhaps he can create a Dan Yao in advance. According to the current time, Li Zaixuan should still be a Jixing at Miles Academy. Zai Xian then prepared to go to Miles College overnight. Where are you going? Give me a ticket to Dishi, please. Due to the rampant warcraft, the city is currently closed. The warcraft incident changed the entire city. Entering there, one will immediately have the worry of luck. And at this time, she still needs to go to the prefecture-level city. Then there's only one reason. This person is a student of Miles College. In a short while, Zai Xian had already arrived at the Miles Academy. After many years, Zai Xian strolled through his old campus again, but he didn't feel a trace of nostalgia. Because this is for the young Zai Xian. It brought endless suffering. But the main task now. Let's find Li Zaixuan first. Li Zaixuan's father is the first S-class attendee in the country. He, who lives under his father's halo. It has always been hoped for by people. Therefore, Li Zaixuan was assigned to Wudo Opera. But his level was not outstanding. So Li Zaixuan hates fighting. It should not appear in the training field. Just as Zaixuan was about to try his luck in the classroom. But suddenly, he heard a noisy sound coming from the side. From the crowd. A stutterer is being bullied at school. Recalling his former self, Zaixuan decided to take a trip to this bustling market. He squeezed through the crowd with a little effort. Without any hesitation, Zaixuan opened the large door in front of him. At this moment, someone bumped into Zaixuan. The stuttering man quickly apologized to Zaixuan for bumping into him. Who are you? What business do you have with our Xiao Jiaba? And the man stammered. It was Li Zaixuan. Brother, are you okay? Li Zaixuan was very curious. Who is the person in front of you? I didn't know Xiao Jiaba had a younger brother. You two don't look alike at all. I've never heard him mention his family. He thought his family had been driven away by the... Zai Xian slapped Huang Mao before he finished his words. I think you should go to the clinic first. Didn't you see I was talking to Xiao Jiaba? This is the second time you have run into me. Why am I always being ignored lately? Zai Xian began to recall the magic theory taught to him by Jin Yiqing. In the way Lu Xing'an releases skills according to the mind. Yao Jian was sent flying straight out. Zai Xian had just used a magic force field. Before Huang Mao could react, Zai Xian grabbed his face. Now it should end. Then Huang Mao was knocked unconscious by the holy bow and arrow. The boy beat Huang Mao to the point of being unable to take care of himself. She then took out a potion and helped him heal. Seeing the potion, Li Zaixuan panicked. As the potion poured onto Huang Mao's face, his injuries were also visibly improving. We should go to the infirmary now. Although he said that, Zai Xian was not heading towards the infirmary. There should be no one around here. No matter what we say, no one will hear. Li Zaixuan subconsciously thought that Zaixuan was sent by his father. Zaixuan said he didn't know his father. But from Li Zixuan's eyes, it could be seen that he did not believe these words. Why are you looking for me? I have something to ask you. I want you to help me make a medicine. I will not make that kind of thing. Aren't you quite good at alchemy? It was you who sold this medicine to the black market. Know that no one can investigate the trader's information from the black market. But this has already happened. Li Zixuan is very curious. Who is the person in front of me? How did he investigate his personal information? Is this what you did? I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Li Zixuan began to regret putting the potion on the black market. He originally thought this was an absolutely safe transaction. But now this has become his handle. Please don't tell anyone about this. I say this not for prestige. Saying this, Zixuan handed the medicine in his hand to Li Zixuan. I just need an excellent alchemist. Help me make the medicine I need. Seeing Zixuan's expression, Li Zixuan knew he wasn't being serious. Who are you exactly? I am Ming Zixuan, a prospective student at Miles College. Then let me hear your needs. They soon arrived at Li Zixuan's studio. What kind of medicine would you like me to make for you? I want a pill that can permanently enhance my magic power. Permanently enhance. How could that be? But the next second, Li Zixuan began to analyze the required raw materials. Zixuan discovered that his aura had completely changed at this moment. He simply won't answer. And most of the raw materials can be inferred based on demand alone. For such a powerful medicine, you should ask other alchemists. I just want to ask you, senior. I will provide everything you need. If there is a formula, most alchemists can make that elixir. Li Zixuan's body. You have a talent that no other alchemist can match. I know, but I can't guarantee that it will succeed in the end. It's okay. It's okay even if you fail. But if it fails, will it cause you losses? I am willing to believe in your ability, senior. Besides, investment always comes with risks, doesn't it? This is the first time someone has ever believed in Li Zixuan so much. From birth until now, he has always been under his father's halo. Compared with other brothers, he never showed excellent fighting qualities. Such a Li Zixuan did not receive his father's approval. Therefore, Zixuan's trust touched his heart deeply. As time goes by, Zixuan is already familiar with the mage's fighting style. He is no longer easily beaten by Lu Xingyan. She can even occasionally go top lane in battle. And now it is time to meet the Death Goddess. He even signed a contract with the Goddess of Death to survive. He needs to defeat the current champion within 90 days. Therefore, Zixuan found the talented alchemist Li Zixuan. Asked him to help her make a tool that can increase magic power. During this period, he also continued to practice with Liu Xingyan. Finally able to tie with Lu Xingyan within the stipulated time. Even so, Zixuan still couldn't be sure that he could defeat Ai and Yuhan. Before departure, he visited Li Zixuan again. Li Zixuan, as requested, produced the pills. Zixuan's magical power increased by 15 points after he took the elixir. I told you. Senior student is really talented. This is all thanks to your trust. Senior, take good rest. You look like you haven't slept for days. Then contact me again next time you need anything. After exchanging greetings, Zixuan left Li Zixuan's studio. And tomorrow is the day he has a date with the Goddess of Death. I have a feeling. Thus, Zixuan entered the dungeon alone again. With the experience from last time, Zixuan didn't panic at all during this teleportation. He soon arrived at the realm of the king. As long as he can defeat Yu, he will be able to know the truth about his rebirth. At this moment, a glimmer of light came from a distance. It turned out to be a skeleton archer who had already aimed at Zixuan. However, Zixuan is no longer the same person as before. He learned the fighting styles of both professions at the same time. Generally speaking, such close-range attacks are no match for wudushi. Point-burst attacks are still no match for magic tricks. Neither of them is particularly good at it. It is a very ambiguous career. But Lu Xingyan believed. If this person is Zixuan, then it's different. Meanwhile, Xingcai was waiting outside the instance for Zixuan's news. At that moment, he suddenly felt a strange presence. Xingcai immediately grasped the weapon in his hand. You are here. I've been looking for you for ages. The person who came was Yan Zhu, Xingcai's junior from college. They haven't been in touch since they graduated from college. And Yan Zhu actually came to find the copy here. This copy is managed by the senior. How strange. Managing copies should not be part of the senior's responsibilities. Actually, I have something I've been curious about. Is the rumor about Chairman Lu Xingyan's poor health true? Of course it's not real. Yan Zhu, where did you hear that rumor? Many people say that. Our agents' union can get quite a lot of information. Xingcai immediately realized that the Manhwa trade union had been infiltrated. Thank you for telling me. Thanks to you, I have something to do when I go back. There is one more thing. Do you know this child named Ming Zaixian? He has been going in and out of the Lianhua trade union lately. Often meets with Chairman Liu Xing'an. I would like to ask if you know the reason behind this. This matter doesn't need any outside help. I came here only because the union paid me. We have to put on an act. Then I'll leave first. Goodbye, senior. After a long period of training, she returned to the land of kings. This time he could easily deal with the monsters here. After defeating the small monsters, the Dark Knight's specter finally appeared. Long time no see. This time I am different. After being attacked, Night Stalker immediately counterattacked Zaixian. But Zaixian easily dodged his attack. Even in the palace, Zaixian did not give up the chance to attack. Continuously used the sacred bow to drain the blood of the Dark Knight's specter. In this way, Yi Yuhan could only let Zaixian land safely. After recovering, Yi Yuhan immediately launched an attack on Zaixian. 3 sword energies flew straight towards Zaixian. Zaixian was only a lateral god. Easily dodged Dark Knight Wanderer's skill. Seeing this scene before him, Yi Yuhan was stunned. Seeing Zaixian about to walk up to her, the Dark Knight Ghost immediately attacked Zaixian. But Zaixian easily dodged each of his attacks. This is panicked. Is it different from what you thought? The voice barely faded when a lightning chain flew straight towards Dark Knight Phantom. Being a level 1 skill, his power is far greater than that of the sacred bow and arrow. Moreover, Zaixian could freely manipulate his attack block. Yi Yuhan clearly didn't expect that Zaixian's skill could change direction. He was caught by the lightning chains without realizing it. Zaixian understands that these injuries alone are not enough to do it. He immediately released the sacred bow and arrow, preparing to hunt and kill. However, Dark Knight Phantom's HP also exceeded Zaixian's expectations. After suffering so much damage, he entered a berserk state. Moreover, Zaixian would be in trouble if he couldn't solve it within 10 minutes. Will die immediately. Zaixian still wanted to use absolute calculation to destroy this skill. Unexpectedly, however, at the critical moment, Hier stopped him. Hier, why did you do such a thing to hinder me? He saw that Haru did not answer him. Zaixian could only hurry up and kill Yi Yuhan. But to his surprise, Yi Yuhan unexpectedly started to run away to stall for time. Zaixian cannot be executed, he can only be controlled by using the Xianji first. As Zaixian was using his skill, the Dark Knight's specter started to counterattack. It not only interrupted Zaixian's skill master, it also gave Zaixian a fear debuff. While Zaixian hadn't reacted yet, Yi Yuhan immediately rushed over to drain his health. Fortunately, this blow did not cause a fatal injury to Zaixian. But if it keeps dragging on, Zaixian has no chance of victory. He simply decided to block his view first. Jian Zaixian rushed over. Yi Yuhan subconsciously wanted to create some distance. But he soon discovered. Zaixian just stood not far away and released his skill. You don't really think I'll just charge at you and fight you, do you? Before the words were finished, a strong light appeared in front of Yi Yuhan. The lightning chain hidden within. It hit him directly. It was at this moment. Zaixian finally arrived before the Dark Knight Phantom. Yi Yuhan also attempted to summon small monsters to buy time. But unfortunately, Zaixian has already activated the trap. Because they recognize the immortal monster, the trap automatically transforms into Light's Judgment. At the last 3 seconds, Zaixian finally defeated Yi Yuhan. Therefore, Zaixian was called the first person to pass the trial. Loki's choice is indeed moral. Come, child. I invite you into my temple. He also successfully defeated the Dark Knight's soul. He became the first person to pass the trial. He earned the qualification to go to the Temple of Death. Almost instantly, Zaixian was summoned to the door of the temple. At this moment, a terrifying aura was defined. A monster rushed out from the temple. Just as Zaixian was about to die, my mother invited the guest in. Upon hearing this, her mother immediately changed direction. He took Zaixian into the Temple of Death. Here, I've come to see you. You actually did it. Wishing you hate. The child chosen by fate to become a rebel. You have successfully passed the test I gave you. Why did you send me the nun system? You also want to give me this kind of test. What exactly is your purpose? This is all to make you a rebel. Zaixian was very curious why it was him. This is the fate you were born with. Resist the lofty Aser god's son. Kill the highest god Odin. That is Loki. And our expectations of you. Let me eliminate Odin. I don't understand what you are saying. You don't need to understand. From the very beginning, I never expected you to leave. You wouldn't understand why I dragged you into this conflict between the gods. But you need to remember one thing. This is not just a matter for our Ace of Protoss opponents. The whole world is developing towards China. And Odin wanted to dominate the whole world. To stop all of this, we need your strength. Make oneself stronger. Looking forward to the day I see you again. waiting for Zai Xian to say something. He was forcibly removed from the temple by He. Are you still going to just watch me from the sidelines? I don't remember inviting anyone. Please forgive this old man's unreasonable behavior. I heard you met him. How could I possibly stay still? This guy is so loyal no matter what. Speaking of which, how did it feel to see him in person? It's too early to draw conclusions. After all, he has just taken his first step. I actually think you seem to be interested in that young man's pulse. As a rebel, his growth exceeded my expectations. He solved the difficult problem I gave him. Finally, he came to me. Although I am lost, I am still very happy. That's good. I'll be relieved if everything goes well with him. Is that all you want to say? Do you have anything else to tell me? Mingminger, I don't know what you're talking about. You cunning old thing, do you still want to pretend you don't know anything? The rebel's law of cause and effect has clearly been removed. Do you think I can't notice it? It seems that your title of wise giant is a thing of the past. Moreover, the rebel's Wei, that is clearly what Odin dedicated to the wisdom group. Aren't you going to explain? Mingminger, what exactly are you and Loki up to? Please forgive me. It is too early to tell you now. Just think of it as fate. Is it fate? Anyway, I'm used to waiting. But I will never stand by and watch. As the prophecy foretold, countless hardships lie ahead. He needs a head like a cow. To reach the peak, you must have a head like a bull. Always guide to the right path. At the same time, Zai Xian had been teleported out of the instance. Although he didn't know the truth of the matter. But he was used by He, immune to all abnormal statuses. The old woman gave the boy the opportunity to shop freely at the mall. But Zai Xian is not happy at all now. Your expression doesn't look so good. Are you having any troubles? Zai Xian certainly couldn't tell his secret. I went to the Night of Kings, but I didn't get the truth. Instead, there are more wins. She did get a new EX level skill. But the cost is actually Odin's production. Zai Xuan pondered as he strolled with Xiana. Without realizing it, Xiana started chatting with the salesperson. It turned out that Xena had helped Zai Xuan choose a magic fighting bag. Zai Xian did not expect the price of a consumable item to be as high as 300 million. Miles College will provide some supplies for new students. But the quality of those things is quite obvious. So Lu Xing'an gave Xiana a long shopping list. Looking at the dense text, Zai Xian immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Xiana stated her purpose early on. But Zai Xian thought they would at most buy some cards or single colors. So it shouldn't take up too much of her own time. But now the situation has clearly exceeded his expectations. Then let's go buy armor. However, Zai Xuan has already obtained the card price in King's Desire. This armor is enough for Zai Xuan's current use. Moreover, you can gain the skill of invisibility when equipping it. Hearing Zai Xuan's words from the side, Xiana thought that Zai Xuan needed an invisibility card. This thing is indeed something every raider wants. But you shouldn't be able to buy it in a place like this. I'm just talking to myself. You don't need to say much. Few people learn the hiding skill, right? If not for luck in the dungeon, it is almost impossible to obtain invisibility cards. That's right. Only my brother possesses the ability to become invisible in the whole country. Zai Xuan was very curious about who Xiana's brother was. My brother is Park Xingcai. Don't you know? Zai Xuan never thought. Xiana is actually Xingcai's sister. Note that their auras are completely different. Just then, something resonated with Zai Xuan. She saw the light again. Zai Xuan hurriedly ran towards the light. She believes there must be some kind of treasure in the belly band. The scene shifts. In the training ground, a fierce sword strike is aimed at the man. The white-haired man in front of him seemed tireless. Every sword strike of Wei was extremely aggressive. Sparring ends. The winner is in Haoyan. Although the man is also very strong, the difference in talent between the two is too obvious. People say he is the next S-level trainee. There's a reason for it. 1. You've worked hard. Don't be too proud. You should have won this match. I understand, father. Prepare the next schedule. After you finish showering, we will go shopping. Little did she know that In Haoyan had long been tired of this mechanical life. The predator he wanted to be was not like this. At the same time, Zai Xuan discovered that the treasure before him was actually Hujixing. This is the treasure that pierced through the chest of Balber, son of Odin. Possessing endless magic. It can grow with users. Zai Xuan was very curious. Is this another gadget that the Norns system created for itself? At this moment, he didn't notice In Haoyan passing by behind his back. He is still the most likely to become the next S-rank Tiansai. But he lived like a walking corpse. And Haoyan now is like a chess piece in his father's hand. He could only accept all this, he had no other choice. Do we need to buy so many things? How can you become an S-class hunter and not even know this? But all this money is not enough to cover mom's hospital expenses this month. Shut up. I will find a way to pay for the hospitalization. You just need to train hard. Thus, and Hao-Yen could only stand aside like a puppet. He didn't understand why he was there. Like monkeys in a zoo, workers serve officials. He remembered his first awakening to famous history. Mom smiled and patted his head. From that time on, he dreamed of becoming a raider. But for the father, his dream was nothing more than something he could use. Thus, and Hao-Yen became a machine. Every day, she repeats the instructions her father inputs. At that moment, a dungeon crack appeared near the shopping mall. For a moment, An Hao-Yen froze in place. What are you still doing there? Come here quickly. You are Tian Sai, who will control the nation's destiny in the future. If you get hurt here, you'll only be a laughingstock at the Miles Academy's opening ceremony. One can only imagine those ordinary people who cannot protect themselves. And Hao-Yen immediately ran towards the dungeon. This is his only chance to prove himself as a hunter. He wanted to confirm one thing. Is he still someone his mother can be proud of? But at the moment, he saw the goblin. And Hao-Yen stopped. This was the first time he had been so close to these monsters. But even if they are just some low-level monsters, it makes him tremble all over. And Hao-Yen could only watch the goblin in front of him rush towards him. And Hao-Yen, hailed as a genius of the martial arts, is the most likely to become the next S rank. He was completely terrified in front of the goblins. At the critical moment, Zai Xian arrived just in time and scared him. The powerful impact sent in Hao-Yen flying to the side. Are you in Hao-Yen? 2.5 minutes ago, Zai Xian bought Hu Jixing. At this moment, Hana had just arrived at the store where Zai Xian was. He was curious why Zai Xuan wanted to buy a strange thing. Before Zai Xian could explain, the webcast announced a dungeon instance alert. Zai Xuan's choice is the same as An Hao-Yuan's. Immediately rushed out of the mall. Because this is the choice all hunters would make. Chu Zai Xian released the holy bow and arrow at the first moment in the shopping mall. Genius An Hao-Yen. And Hao-Yen was very curious about who the person in front of him was. I will tell you more later. I need your help now. Wait a minute. There won't be any more. He didn't finish his sentence. Zai Xuan instantly killed the goblin behind him. Are you still standing there? Snap out of it. Take up arms. The moment he heard those words, An Hao-Yen's anxieties and hesitation vanished. Zai Xian's appearance was clearly the hunter in his heart. Now they have only one thing to do. Eliminate these monsters. Protect the ordinary people in the mall. And Hao-Yen, a martial arts prodigy wannabe, has already become the next S-rank hunter in people's minds. However, he encountered a goblin for the first time. He was scared by the monster's appearance. In the end, he only became an ordinary B-class hunter. I don't know why. He is always quickly defeated in battle. Therefore, people called him the unfortunate emperor. This time, however, Zai Xuan helped him regain his fighting spirit. Will you use provocation? If possible, you go attract some World of Warcraft monsters first. There are too many goblins. You should lure them as much as possible. And Hao-Yen immediately summoned his weapon. Then she used the provoke skill. You should know that this is a more advanced skill than simply provoking. Useful to oneself. Then let's make it quick. Oh my god, what is going on? Zai Xuan and An Hao-Yen immediately looked towards the source of the sound. The newcomer was none other than the hunter who came to support. I am Park Jin-hoon from the Hunters Association. You two took down all these goblins. Park Jin-hoon quickly recognized An Hao-Yen among the two. This way, it makes sense for the two of them to kill the goblins. How should I report this to my superiors? I was just about to tell you about this. You just say it was resolved by the association. Anyway, no one believes we can kill so many models. But doing so is clearly against the rules. If someone sees this, it's really not according to the rules. If you don't want to be too conspicuous, I will do my best to handle this matter properly. That monster's bounty also goes to this guy. Regarding my appearance here, please keep this confidential. Please wait a minute. What do you mean by that? It was clearly you who killed the monster just now. I'm sorry, I also have my secrets. The opening of the Miles Academy is just around the corner. Zai Xian didn't want to risk being noticed by his father. Only by concealing your strength first can you have a chance for revenge at the critical moment. And Hao-Yen also fell into a tangle. Reasonably, he should not have taken all the credit from Kai-Shen. But with this money, maybe it can relieve his mother's condition. He wants to be a guiltless poacher but also doesn't want his mother to die without treatment. Zai Xuan was also curious about what An Hao-Yen was hesitating about. Think carefully. Every decision you make will lead to different outcomes. If you hesitate, someone will surely lose their mind. And Hao-Yuan realized that if he lost the most important. So what is the meaning of his dream? If I have the opportunity, I will definitely return this favor to you. Just from their brief conversation, Jin Sun could tell. Zai Xian has web skills beyond his age. You've talked enough, so I'll do as you say. Since it's already decided, then I'll be on my way. Please tell me your name and contact information. You don't have to go through all that trouble. You don't need to be so polite. We are all the same age. And I'm also a freshman at Miles Academy. We'll see each other often in the future. The boy killed hordes of magical beasts. Kei chose to give the high bounty to Inhaoyan. But it's not that Saishuan doesn't like money, because compared to this, a single act of kindness from a martial arts genius is more valuable. The time quickly came for Miles Academy's enrollment day. Inhaoyan, known as the genius of martial arts, it quickly caught the attention of the students nearby. And the other person who attracted their attention, Surina. She is the person who will top the Hunter Seat popularity list in the future. However, Surina is different from others. Zai Xian couldn't easily win her over. Moreover, it's not necessary to prepare for the festival yet. She already has it. 3 people with extraordinary powers of fire. That girl is beautiful, but you can't keep staring at her. Hearing Jin Yoqing's words, Surina looked over in Zai Xian's direction. Are you new students of C Academy? It's nice to meet you all. I am Qiu Zirong, the chairman. Hearing the sound, Zai Xuan's expression turned serious. A large part of her miserable life back then was due to Qiu Ziren. Be mentally prepared. Here, we cannot predict what will happen. You actually care about me. Don't worry, I'm awesome. However, this is also a fact. After enrolling, Jin Yuqing became the 3rd-ranked elite in the magic department. So Zaishuan this time. There's no way she'll let Jin Yuqing escape. Dear students, the entrance ceremony of Miles College is now starting. We have prepared something special for everyone. That is the hunting activity of current students and new students in subspace. The newcomer hunt officially begins. Jin Yuqing was startled by the magic circle that suddenly appeared beneath her feet. At the crucial moment, Zai Xuan quickly grabbed Jin Yuqing's hand. Is today the day Zai Xian starts school? It's so fast. I wanted to send him a message to cheer him up before he enrolled. Now if I send it, he probably won't see it. I knew what the chairman was thinking, so I sent him a message yesterday on your behalf. Really? He replied to your message. Zai Xuan said what? He said not to worry. Meanwhile, Zai Xuan and Jin Yuqing had already arrived in the subspace. Besides them, there is another person here. The magical genius who is called S-Class after Liu Xing'an. Surina, who changed the world's perception of magic. Scene shifts to the central control room of Miles Academy. Qiu Ziren was leading the teachers from the school to observe the new pipeline. There are many outstanding students in this group. In addition to Inhaoyan, there are several other potentials. Surina Jin Yuqing Li Xiuxian. Although she is a magic type, her scores are all above 90. There is still one student's information that hasn't been updated for changing majors midway. Those who change their major halfway through their studies will not be able to last long in our college, this much is clear. Those who can enter Miles Academy all possess extremely high talent. But among these people, there are also talented people like Inhaoyan who have already become famous. We should always give some opportunities to those electricians. If they can awaken a second time, then we will have made a profit. Qiu Ziren's task was to select the most outstanding talents for the Lord. Can't delay any longer, otherwise that Lord will get angry. Miles College's entrance ceremony. It was a hunting game in the subspace. Subspace can get rid of time and space data. Things that cannot be achieved in reality. Everything here can be distorted into a real form. Every year, 5% of the students are eliminated here. Such a cruel activity. It is just to let students experience their limits. So Zaishuan must not let his guard down under any circumstances. Especially in front of the magic genius Surina. From now on, I will explain the rules of the freshman hunt to everyone. According to the regulations, everyone can only use skills below sea level. Whenever you remove someone else's name tag, you will receive a certain amount of points. For safety reasons, we have already adjusted the skill power to the lowest level. So you don't have to worry about getting hurt. Please actively participate in the game. Zai Xian realized he did not mention being skillful, and the limitations of talent were not explained. Therefore, his purpose was to take care of some unnecessary chores in advance, and discover talented new students as early as possible. We're going to stay here for 3 days. Let's find a shelter first. There are various facilities with traps in the subspace. The most important thing to survive here for 3 days is to find a shelter. Would it be safer if we joined that organization? He seems to be a magic student like us. Although being able to win over Surina is important, but he is an extremely uncontrollable factor. There were numerous reports in the future news about Surina's loss of reason, the thing that caused countless people to suffer from hematospermia. This is not something that can be easily decided. How can you be sure he won't run away? He is very wary. His eyes were filled with pity for our misfortune. But I can't feel any of what you're saying. He feels exactly the same way to me now as you did when you were a child. Jin Yuqing then stopped and walked towards Surina. If possible, would you like to join us? He and that boy are both magic users. This event is detrimental to us. If there are more people, it will be easier for us to fight. Whether we team up or not will have to be decided later. Only a gust of wind whooshed past the 3 people. It's unbelievable that we found 3 freshmen so quickly. It seems this year's points should be easy to pour out. How can there be 3 people? I clearly sensed only 2. Quan Sulv suddenly realized she could no longer sense Zai Xian's presence. Those 2 are laughing. It's a martial arts scene. We should escape from here, okay? We can't escape. We have to deal with them here. Because the full-speed inherent skill can track his target within 300 kilometers. Since the points are already in front of me, then I won't be polite. Xin Junxiang finished speaking and charged straight towards the 3 of them. Unexpectedly, this sword strike was easily dodged by Zaichuan. No one has returned the sword to me for a long time. The new student who can dodge my attack is impossible for me not to know. Moreover, you are only a freshman in the magic department. But the next second, Xin Junxiang's sword was firmly grasped in Zai Xian's hand. You are such a stupid person that you can still live till now. Hua because he was about to kill Zai Xian, so he crushed Xin Junxiang's sword. Surina was startled by the scene before her. I give you 3 seconds. If you hand over your name tag, I will let you go for 1 second. Zai Xian, a new magic student. He actually suppressed Wu Doshi in close combat, laughing. Su even squeezed Xin Junxiang's weapon until it exploded. You have 3 seconds to hand over your name tag, and I will let you go for 1 second. However, at this moment, Xin Junxiang was already terrified. It is simply not possible to make a decision in such a short period of time. I have given you a chance. You did not cherish it. Even at full speed, he didn't expect his teammate to be eliminated so quickly. Finally, a new student has taken the name tag. Is there a problem with the system? Why isn't this person in how? Instructor Jinglixio. The system did not show any proof. Ming Zaichuan? I have never heard of this name before. Who are you? I sent you a team duel invitation. Please accept it quickly. We solved the other one as well. Jin Yuqing is very strange. Why did Zai Xian suddenly become so tight? Surina, who was standing nearby, heard nothing. Silently threw away her own weapon. Even without a monster like Zaichuan, it is impossible for full speed to win a 1v3. Therefore, he immediately decided to eliminate one and then escape during the chaos. Unfortunately, his attack was also dodged by Jin Yuqing. If Jin Yuqing were just an ordinary person, this tactic might work. After dodging the attack, Jin Yuqing immediately launched a restraint on full speed. The full rate is to avoid the restraint of the sword system. Through the flying knife in his hand, Jin Yuqing blocked his attack with a magic field. Zaichuan knows that relying solely on Jin Yuqing's friendship will still be difficult to defeat me. But just as he was about to act, Surina's voice chanting a magic spell was heard. Surina used his inherent skill, Sword of Alfheim. At the start, Surina's skill instantly overwhelmed everything. Until then, he understood. The 3 freshmen in front of me are all monsters. Maybe I disturbed you just now. No. You just saved me. So your previous suggestions are still effective now? After these events, Zai Xian thought it was necessary to adjust his assessment of Surina. Maybe he is not as ruthless as the news portrays. Merely by nature prone to unexpected events and reticent. The trio headed to the nearest shelter after they formed a team. There are other people's footprints here. It seems they entered the shelter. Everyone, stop searching. Come here and attack too. They believe. Ningguan Dia Zai Shaoxing de Xianxing must not always hide in the shelter. But they didn't know. Zai Xian and 2 others had already noticed their scenery. The sudden attack took down one of the laughing people. They all fell into Zaichuan's gloves. So many people can't catch it. Isn't it embarrassing? This bastard, stop right there. Little did they know, Jin Yuqing was secretly laughing at these simple-minded families. Zai Xian had anticipated this situation. Although the shelter is very safe, they cannot stay here forever. Besides needing food, they also want to acquire technology as much as possible. So their purpose. This is reverse hunting, then laughter. It was at this moment that Jin Yuqing activated the wind-powered booster. They had already arrived in the Num Baozi mushroom group. The freshman hunting ceremony at Miles College. Freshmen became the prey of laughter again. But Zai Xian was smiling with the newly born hunting. They used their gold friendship. This laughter brought them to the paralyzed Baozi mushroom colony. Zaichuan had actually asked Li Zaichuan a long time ago. Methods to resist paralytic button mushroom. There is no way to prevent it. But day layers branches and leaves can heal him. Being able to treat is enough. Thank you, brother. Therefore, Zai Xuan and his friends started looking for Daeseng early in the morning. Because this game is tailored for martial arts action. Each of these rules is a beneficial restriction for magic tricks. Like Jin Yuqing, who has no inherent skills. He had almost lost all his means of attack. We will use basic skills to make a comeback. Can you use replace? Surina is very curious. How can a magic that swaps positions with teammates achieve a comeback? Don't worry, with him, we can make a big move. Time returns to the present. Amidst the laughter, they also discovered the anomaly here. If they keep chasing gold friendship, they will enter the numb mushroom area. So they started to hesitate, wondering if they should give up. We have already chased this far. Do you want to give up now? If we turn back now, it's still not too late. That freshman eliminated Jin Xingxiu. You actually said that? Even if the opponent is a freshman, if we are all paralyzed, then there's nothing we can do about them. Even if we are paralyzed, that guy will definitely not escape. Calm your heart and stay here. Help us outside the range of numbness. The rest of you follow me. I will show them that being clever is useless. Jinhe clearly understood Jin Yuqing's intention to lure them into a trap. Let his companion take the opportunity to sneak attack. But at this moment, he was completely consumed by anger. Moreover, they never will. To see the new students of the magic department. Little one, you have nowhere to escape now. You stink bug-like girl. You made things so intense. Is that so? I feel like you guys don't dare to come over. Just now he was boasting, why is he not coming over now? Hearing Jin Yuqing's mocking words, the students immediately rushed over. Jin Yuqing immediately triggered. The numbing Bowsy monster at my feet. After the mushroom explodes, creatures within a 50-meter radius will enter a 2-hour paralysis state. It seems it's our turn. Jinhe did not expect Jin Yuqing to actually trigger the paralysis Bowsy monster. This behavior is not beneficial to any of them. It's time for a change. This isn't my stage anymore. The sound just fell. A foot suddenly stepped on Jinhe. Respected seniors, now it's my turn. Zai Xian finished speaking and kicked Jinhe away. You are so stupid. You actually went to the Ma Bai Bao Zmo Gu. Group yourself. Just in case, I've had my companion wait outside. I'm so sorry. That person probably won't be able to come either. Meanwhile, a violent explosion echoed through the forest. Xiao Xingtiao Xinhe was eliminated. The person who eliminated him was Su Rina. Jinhe completely covered the system prompt the moment he saw it. Immune to all abnormal statuses. Zai Xuan therefore became the only person here who could understand animals. Why do you still ask the gods? The other 3 people could only watch Jinhe being killed by Zai Xian. Now there are only 3 of you left. The constant pop-up score reminders made the instructors nervous. Zai Xuan and their team's score also jumped to the top of the leaderboard. At the same time, Jin Yuqing also drank the leaves of day layer and relieved the paralysis. Since the trouble has been resolved, then they prepared to meet Zai Xuan. Zai Xian seems to know a lot about magic. This usage of replacement. A few months ago, he was still obsessed with the dance drama. At that time, he still didn't doubt magic. But how did he know that the leaves of the Dai Yetsin could relieve paralysis? How did he know about this? Soon they arrived at their designated meeting point. Has the numbness in your body subsided? You two don't look very tired. I just ran desperately, and used magic once. I'm also fine. You usually look kind of silly, but you don't today. Who are you calling silly? How can you say such a thing? In Surina's opinion, Zai Xian didn't feel silly at all. Her looks are quite good, just right for his taste. However, Surina quickly suppressed her inner thoughts. Now, she still needs to be careful for the sake of her life. After taking care of them, the few people returned to the shelter. Zai Xuan then began to chop in the pot. What are you doing? Restoring your physical strength. I guess it might be useful, so I asked Fang Zong for advice from a brother I know. Do you know any brothers? Don't you have any friends? Look at what you're saying. It's as if, besides me, you have other friends too. Zai Xuan, you are really amazing. It feels like you are not our age. You look so mature, like you've lived 10 years more than us. Stop chatting there. We need to eat something for tomorrow's action. But Zai Xian and Jin Yuqing are not very good at this. I'm actually quite good at cooking. Why don't I give it a try? I live with my grandma, so I cook every day. Saying this, Surina put up her hair, preparing to show off her cooking skills. Surina's family situation. Zai Xian doesn't know much either, but he lives with his grandmother. Zai Xian guessed his parents might have some questions. Surina quickly made dinner for everyone. They were both amazed by the taste after taking a bite. Jin Yuqing was so excited that she directly hugged Surina. I can't believe I'm actually having such delicious food here. Surina also felt a long-lost happiness being with them. a hunting game tailor-made for the Wudo faction. Zixuan, despite being from the magic department, led the team to the top. This phenomenon shocked all the supervising teachers. We have been expecting in Haoyan, who is currently ranked 4th. Even more unbelievable is that the top 2 students are both from the magic department. So far, this achievement has only been achieved by participants in the Wudo series. But now, no one knows how to explain the situation. 3 new magic students unexpectedly dominated the event, even making the martial arts department laugh. The scene of the group in the Ma by Baozi Mushroom Land just now is playing in the playback. In that mood, he was not only decisive but also had amazing judgment. He even has the power to defeat martial arts users. Not at all like a magic department. It's hard to believe he is a freshman. Data about Ming Zexuan has not been updated yet. Merely, we have found the information about Ming Zexuan. But I don't know if this information is credible. What does it mean that you don't know if this information is credible? Calm down and explain clearly. What is going on? You can check his profile. Ming Zexuan's magic affinity reached 97%. The moment I saw this number, Xiao Ziren could hardly believe his eyes. At the same time, he could not suppress his inner joy. I want to personally confirm how talented he is. Ming's meaning is to directly intervene in this test. I can't wait to meet this child. Let's design a fun game. Meanwhile, Zixuan and his team have already accumulated 1.1 million points, almost firmly at the top of the freshman list. As the laughter from Nightmare Forest did not come again, Zixuan and his friends had no choice but to leave the shelter. Because they want to earn more points, they have to get moving. Okay, let's prepare then. The highest record of the freshman hunt in history is 1.14 million points. We are going to break the record and create a new history. Zixuan also didn't expect that Su Rina's desire to win was so strong. Just then, Zixuan suddenly noticed someone coming over. A fierce slash went straight towards Zixuan. This powerful force is far beyond CG skills. Originally, due to unstable pressure space, the skills restrictions have been removed. Everyone looked toward where Zhangji was attacking. Zixuan, are you okay? We are all freshmen. Why did he attack us? I didn't expect we would meet again like this. And Haoyan, what are you doing now? But at this moment, Haoyan seemed not to hear what Zixuan was saying. That guy looks unconscious, as if he is being controlled by someone. Zixuan immediately thought that this must have been done by Qiu Ziren. Because the same thing happened on Miles Academy's anniversary. Qiu Ziren failed because of his corruption. To escape legal sanctions, he brainwashed his students with his skills. Caused a terrible accident, diverting people's attention. Disappeared without a trace. The accident caused countless students to lose trust. Jin Yuqing collapsed into Zixuan's arms that day. As a friend, Zixuan would definitely not fight alongside Haoyan. So now what needs to be done is to make him regain consciousness. Just then, the nuns system suddenly sent a mission. Saving the brainwashed students. And the mission reward is actually a blank card. Comrades who fought side by side before the drinking session. Now, however, she draws a sword against Zixuan. It turned out that Haoyan was being controlled. But this also gave Zixuan the chance to get a blank card. I can handle this myself. You all should leave here quickly. Go as far as possible. If possible, please help me save more points. He is Haoyan, the genius from the martial arts department. How could you possibly? Do you think I can't do it? Seeing Zixuan like this, Surina immediately chose to believe him. Understood. We'll leave right away. Why are you, Rina, fooling around with Zixuan? It's true, I'm leaving. Leave the point earning to us. Zixuan, you mustn't get hurt. Come find us as soon as you've solved it. Don't worry. I will come to you soon. Time back to 1 day ago. And Haoyan, relying on his own strength, eliminated many hours. He now has 600,000 points. Just one more day to hold on, and this game will be over. He clearly already did his best. But still can't get first place. He didn't expect that someone from the magic department could actually win first place under such conditions. Even his teammates were ranked close by. He involuntarily recalled the scene of his first meeting with Zixuan. He is indeed an amazing guy. Since that's the case, I can't give up easily. There is still time if I put in more effort. And Haoyan. I am the chairman, Qiu Ziren. What can I do for you? I have something I need Haoyan to help me with. With a sharp pain, she shung now, and Haoyan was brainwashed by Qiu Ziren. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? I remembered. I'm going to kill Ming Zixuan. Time returns to the present. And Haoyan clumsily rushes towards Zixuan. And Haoyan suddenly shot an arrow with great force. Unfortunately, Zixuan dodged his attack with a light leap. Zixuan recognized that this was his level 5 ultimate skill. Seeing that one strike failed. And Haoyan immediately drew closer to Zixuan. Zixian was very curious why and how Yan suddenly became so strong. When they first met, his behavior was clearly very different. But In Haoyan's current proficiency is simply different from that time. Moreover, Zixian also compared In Haoyan in terms of physical qualities. In Haoyan only used a shield to knock Zixian away. Zixian could only spin in the air, getting rid of the distance. After he stood firm, he immediately launched a sharp, tight push. Now Zixian's speed has far surpassed In Haoyan's. He used his speed advantage to get behind In Haoyan. He is ready to end this meaningless battle with the lightning chain. Unexpectedly, In Haoyan pulled back in time, creating a distance between them. His eyes followed Zixian's movements. The body has already reacted. He is indeed a born leader with extraordinary fighting instincts. Zixian knew that dealing with him might not be as much as she had imagined. Although using absolute calculus can relieve the mind. But the problem is Qiu Ziren must be in the monitoring room, watching this battle. He might even have a faint smile on his face. However, at this moment, Zixian's desire to win, also aroused by In Haoyan. And he also wanted Qiu Ziren to pay the price. Once, I could only admire the laughter of Widow series participants. Now he has personally defeated the martial arts faction's emperor, gaining his recognition. This is the most rewarding thing that Zixian has accomplished since he came back. He could clearly feel that he had crossed that fragile past. Soon, the new hunting game ended. Zixian broke the previous record with 1,530,000 points. You broke the record. Shouldn't you be a little happier? Am I right? Rena, if we have one more hour, we will reach 1.6 million. Forget it, anyway, these points are enough for me to squander for a while. Of course. Honestly, record our points. It's almost the same as money in reality. That means you have earned almost 15.3 million yuan. And I ranked first. You two tied for second. There should be an additional 1 million bonus points. Jin Yiqing couldn't help but feel happy when he heard he had made so much money. Xiang Wang Zixian's body. Unlike them, the other students could only cast envious glances. Just then, a tall figure walked through the students. Hello everyone. I am your instructor Jin Shiji. The two of them immediately greeted the instructor in classical Chinese. I have something to say to the three of you. There are many people here. How about we change places? What you want to say is about the results of our freshman hunt this time. Jin Shiji could only nod silently. Zixian said nothing and walked past Jin Shiji in silence. Shouldn't you ask? Where am I taking you? The chairman's office. Am I right? Instructor Jin Shiji brought the three of them to Qiu Ziren's office. Where is the chairman? Why did he call us here? He went himself. Buzai saw such an arrogant Zixian. Jin Shiji dared to be angry but dared not speak. You two can sit down and wait too. Unlike Zixian, Jin Yiqing and Su Rina only dared to obey. Please wait a moment, three students. I'm late. Hello, I'm Jin Yiqing, a new student in the magic department. I'm Su Rina. I know two classmates, Jin Yiqing and Su Rina. You are indeed late. I was about to fall asleep waiting for you. They didn't expect Zixian to say that. Jin Shiji was also scared out of his wits by Zixian. The whole office fell silent for a moment. I'm so sorry. To better coordinate with all the teams, I need some time to prepare. No, we should be the ones feeling embarrassed. These 3 days have been spent crawling and rolling in subspace. Hasn't had time to wash up yet. This is something I didn't think about carefully. After several attempts, Zixian discovered that Qiu Ziren was showing them a demonstration. This means he doesn't want to miss the person in front of him. I have brought everyone a pretty good proposal, so please forgive me. First, congratulations to the 3 students who ranked in the top 3 in this hunting competition. Especially Ming Zixian achieved the first place result. Not only that, but you also blocked Jin with overwhelming force. This achievement is truly unbelievable. This surprised me greatly. What do you want to say? Can't you be more direct? Miles Academy. Plan to offer some benefits to the 3. 1. You can use the dormitory suites in the college building for free. All facilities that require reservations. All 3 have priority. If you are not satisfied with your exam results, you can apply for a retake. Ming is a student of the magic department. Fought at close range just like the martial arts department. Moreover, he can gain the upper hand in battle. Zixian's opponent is In Hao, a martial arts genius. This scene made the instructor doubt his own acting because a magic wielder could never defeat a martial arts user. That was the truth that he, the star of the magical line, felt. But such a thing really happened in everyone's acting. And Hao Yan was completely defenseless at this point. I didn't mean to be so harsh. But your body is sturdy. You'll probably be able to stand up in a moment. Now it's time to deal with him. Zixian looked at the demons in the monitoring room. The next second, the surveillance footage was just a flash of black light. What happened? Why did the screen suddenly change like this? Chiu Ziren snatched the remote control from the instructor's hand. No matter how he pressed it, the screen remained unchanged. It seems he cast a spell to cut off the image. It's a flashbang, good boy. Follow my move. Instructor Jin Shurji, listen to me. After the event, have the student named Ming Zishuan come to my office. Is it really okay that we made this decision so quickly? Instructor Jin Shurji, do you know why he did that under such circumstances? Still need to use magic to cut off the screen? Because he knew how to increase his own utilization value. Meanwhile, Zishuan had already arrived in front of Anhaoyan. Then she used absolute calculation to undo his brainwashing. Now you are sober. Anhaoyan wanted to get up, but found his body was in excruciating pain. Finally, she even directly fell to the ground and rolled away. Sorry. You just suddenly rushed over and attacked me. Did I attack you? Why would I do such a thing? You've been hit by a mind control spell. Anhaoyan then remembered that he seemed to have indeed heard some kind of sound. But this magic definitely exceeds level 1. The subspace clearly limits the skill level. Maybe the subspace suddenly went wrong, or someone intervened. Do you know who this person is? Why did he do that? I can't guess these things. But since he could start such a huge war, this explains that this person is not an ordinary person who can be easily provoked. Zishuan believes, however, in the future, Anhaoyan will definitely be able to recognize Chiu Ziren's true colors. It is like a human standing aside. Thinking about the gap between myself and Zishuan, he clenched his fists involuntarily. I'm so sorry. I am really sorry. Since you can still move, I'll go first. Keep up the good work with the rest of your time. But at this moment, Anhaoyan threw something to Zishuan. Zishuan opened his hand and found it was Anhaoyan's name card. What are you doing? You should know that having no name tag is equivalent to escaping. Although I cannot compare to you. But I also have a lot of points. And I lost, so this should be yours. But next time I will definitely not lose. I will personally beat them back to the top. Although this thing is only worth a few 10,000ths. But for Zishuan, it has a different meaning. Because he once so desperately desired the abilities of the god of family. To be acknowledged by a genius of 5th level, this sense of accomplishment is unprecedented. As the top 3 in the freshman hunting competition, Zishuan and his companions received unprecedented preferential treatment. You can use the college dormitory building for free. He also has priority access to all facilities that require reservations. Even if it's about exam results, you can apply for a retake. Besides the benefits I just mentioned, 3 students can also sign this agreement to become partners of Miles College. These benefits sound good. But we can get those things with our own ability within a month. After all, Miles Academy is a place where strength speaks for itself. I don't understand why we have to sign an agreement with our colleagues who are paying tuition fees. You should show me the agreement first. Within 5 years of signing the partnership agreement with Miles Academy. As a practitioner, 30% of the profits from activities must be donated to the Academy. Director Chiu Ziren. This is not our welfare. But he wants to cheat us. If you feel that way, there's nothing I can do. This agreement is not mandatory. Signing or not signing is up to the 3 of you. After Jin Yuqing and Surina exchanged a glance after hearing Zishuan's words, they quickly decided not to sign the agreement. What a pity. What a pity. This is the best offer I can give you. Maybe you haven't thought it through. I can give you another chance. Ming Zishuan, do you still not want to sign with me? Kyuzuren did not know that Zishuan had been waiting for him to initiate the brainwashing content. Due to Hull's blessing, Zishuan will not be brainwashed. I have already made it clear that I don't want to sign that agreement. If there's nothing else, we'll leave now. After struggling for 3 days, we were immediately called to the office. We really need to take a good rest. Thus, the 3 of them passed by Instructor Jin Shur again. After hearing these conversations, Jin Shurji was already sweating profusely. Only Chiu Zir and Jin Shurji were left in the office. Instructor Jin Shurji, you go out first. He is just a freshman, but he can actually resist my innate prohibition. Ming Zishuan, you make me want you even more. Are you really okay with this? Kyuzuren's just now proposal. You also refused. At first, I was really moved. Yudan was favored from the beginning. That's definitely unfair to others. Those things should be earned through one's own efforts. That's good. I also hope you can refuse that agreement. Don't you think it's strange when we rejected his proposal? His expression was terrifyingly gloomy. I also feel something is wrong. The first event after enrollment had a problem. But neither of them complained about it. Ming Zishuan regarding Chiu Ziren, Li Mayor. Do you know any inside information? Hearing Su Rina's words, Zishuan stopped. Why would you think that? You were previously calm, unlike a freshman, but when you faced Mayor Li, you are unusually hostile. I'm not too sure either, so it's not convenient for me to say anything now. But I can tell you one thing. If possible, don't trust anyone, whether it's Mayor Lee or the instructor. You come to the private academy. This provides exclusive benefits for excellent students. Zai not only refused. He even publicly humiliated Mayor Lee. If possible, don't trust anyone, whether it's Mayor Lee or the instructor. If that's the case, then we can't even trust you. Right. You can't trust his words either. He looks so fierce. He even left me alone in the middle of the road before. Jin Yiqing rushed forward, saying, "You know how painful I was at that time." After the first round, Zai Xian pushed Jin Yiqing away. Alright, go back quickly. Then we'll part ways here. Jin Yiqing glanced at the two who were supposed to be standing still. Are you filming a youth idol drama here? Do you want to take me along? The girls' dormitory is on the left. The boys' dormitory is on the right. Go back and rest. Then let's go back. Zai Xian, you should go back and have a good rest. Tomorrow is the first class. See you tomorrow. Zai Xian returned to his dormitory. A room full of delicious food. A small, creaky place to sit. As an incompetent substitute, I once suffered all kinds of cold shoulders. It all remains here. Zai Xuan hasn't felt this way in a long time. The next day, as soon as they left, the students were already gathered in the equipment room. Hello everyone in the magic department. My name is Jin Jian. He is the instructor who teaches the basic course of magic adaptation. Zai Xuan found that he didn't seem to have any memory of his previous life. Perhaps because it was the window department at that time. And Jin Jian again soon after, leaving Miles College. This is not something difficult to understand. Being an instructor at Miles College is by no means a lifetime career. This is a fact recognized by most awakened ones. Of course, it's also possible that someone like Jin Shiji, because of the infatuation with Xiao Ziren, persistently stayed at Miles Academy. Alright everyone, be quiet. Everyone may have some differences. Why is the first class not in the classroom? But to have you come to this kind of large facility? The reason is very simple. Today I will test everyone's magic. Magical power similar to the magic cube of Philippa came from the door behind Jin Jian. Therefore, many students were intimidated by this ruthless attitude. But Zai Xuan had already noticed the difference in the plugs. The magical power behind these doors is far less concentrated than that of the magic cube. The device in front of everyone is called Fei Life Engine. It is for 2 people on the mana cube used in general trade unions. For those of you who are still students, cultivating magical power from the Gonka Rubik's Cube is almost impossible. So our Miles Institute has prepared this for everyone. It is prepared by multiple small rooms. The magic concentration in the first room is similar to the air. The further back you go, the stronger the magic becomes. Generally, freshmen can persist until the 3rd stage. Graduates can almost persevere until the 7th stage. This class is about making sure everyone understands. How much concentration can I bear? Hearing Jin Jian's method, Surina clenched her fists. All students, please line up behind me. If any problems occur during the process, please raise your hand immediately. The teaching assistants will bring the name cards. Now, let's officially begin the test. The magic concentration in the room is about the same as the air. Students who can enter Miles College will not feel uncomfortable. But the magic density of each subsequent room will continue to increase. Starting from the 2nd room, some students could no longer withstand the density of the magic power. These people left the magic room with the teaching assistant's help. After reaching the 3rd room, more and more students couldn't bear the pressure. The 3rd room is about average for a newborn. By now, nearly half of the people have given up. After reaching the 5th room, only a handful of students remained. Do you feel your breathing is not noisy? I'm fine. Seeing Zai Xuan could easily cope with the magic concentration in the room, Surina also determined to work harder. After arriving at the 6th room, only 4 students remained. They are all the top performers in the freshman hunt. Jin Jian sighed inwardly. Xiao Ziren asked him to pay attention to Ming Zai Xuan for a reason, but he never intended to obey Xiao Ziren's naming. We will now enter the 7th room. Everyone must be on high alert at all times. If you feel unwell, raise your hand immediately. Note that the 7th room has reached the graduate level. We're moving on to the 8th room now. Are any of you feeling unwell? Everyone looked calm and composed. Jin Jian was the first to enter the 8th room. Look, they actually went to the 8th room. After entering the 8th room, Jin Yuqing and Li Xiuhui were the first to experience discomfort. However, Zai Xuan still had a sweet smile on his face. From here, the concentration of mana inside the device is the same as in the instance. Everything is changing every moment. Even geniuses become unbalanced starting from here. Next, we will enter the 9th room. Almost the moment she stepped into the room, Surena's body gave way. Zai Xian, who then entered the room, hurriedly started calling her name. Jin Jian immediately looked back after hearing the sound. Instructor Jin Jian, remember, regardless of the situation students encounter, you cannot reach out and contact them. A crisis is also an opportunity for students. If the opportunity is taken away from them, would they be heartbroken? Are you alright, Reina? I'm fine, I can continue. Surena's vision blurred. Only her heart told her she must not lose. This is something only the strong can survive. What good is having a talent for magic? You still have to be subservient to martial arts scenes. If she can't get recognition here, then nowhere else will she be recognized. Finally, Surena was carried out on a stretcher by the teaching assistants. Surena left, and Zai Xian entered the 10th room without looking back. Even Jin Jian would find it hard to breathe from here. But when she entered, she found that Zai Xian was still as calm and composed as ever. I also can't bear it. That's all. Then come out with me. Walk this way. Jin Jian knew very well that what Zai Xian had just said was not true, because she looked even more relaxed than herself. The test in the magic room can reflect a magician's potential. While most students were still in the 3rd room, Zai Xian can now adapt to the mana capacity of the 10th room. Ming Zaishuan unexpectedly broke through the 10th stage of the magic power room. This means she has reached the level of a necessary evil, or she has the potential to reach a higher level. Everyone, please work hard to catch up with her soon. Surena really wants to defeat Zai Xian. But the 9th stage was her limit. Rena, are you okay? I'm sorry to have worried you. They said it was just a common magical focus phenomenon. Are you okay? You seem pretty normal just now. I'm fine. Can you take off the towel hanging around your neck? I was just worried about you. Are you feeling better now? Is there anything wrong? I have no problems at all. After asking Jin Yuqin, Zai Xian glanced at Surena. She thought Surena was just competitive and emotional. But having just experienced that, she found that Surena was forcing herself. Although she wasn't injured this time, her personality will make her difficult to manage in the future. Although Zai Xuan did not want to control these people's destinies. But with Zai Xian's intervention, their future has indeed begun to change. So Surena's future is also very likely to mutate. Of course, Jin Yuqin couldn't die in the academy as she did in her last life. What are you staring at me for? Is it because I'm so beautiful? Are you really okay? You sound really sick. Zai Xian doesn't know how much impact these things he has done will have on the future. But the current situation is changing rapidly. It is difficult to stay ahead of the curve. Zai Xuan has to prepare in advance. What were you muttering just now? Say something I can understand. To keep Jin Yuqin out of this, Zai Xian must divert her attention. So he put the towel on Jin Yuqin's head and rubbed it. After Jin Yuqin took off the towel, her hair had already fallen into her cheeks. You stinking little bastard. This is the hairstyle I worked so hard on this morning. Whether you do styling or not, there is no discernible difference. So you're saying I'm ugly now? Zai Xian realized he had misspoken. Immediately ran away. The number of people who need to go to the infirmary. How come it feels like Zai Xuan might be more seriously injured? However, Sure's eyes still showed a hint of envy. They are really good friends. Meanwhile, Li Xiuheng was also watching the people who were making noise. He doesn't understand. How did Zai Xuan break through the 10th stage of the magic power room? Li Xiuhe, what are you thinking about, all alone there? Jin Minju, how much do you know about that guy? Tell me everything. Don't you know who Ming Zaishuan is, Su Hyuk? Analyzing the strengths of other students is a must. That boy is the first student in the magic department to win first place in the freshman hunt. I know all of that. I'm wondering where this kid came from. But Jin Minju didn't know about this either. I always feel like something's off about him. He must be hiding something. Jin Minju hasn't adapted to Li Xiuhui's place yet. Don't you think he went through the back door as soon as school started? It's impossible for anyone to be closer to you than I am unless they have connections. Hearing this, Jin Minju felt a pang of awkwardness. Because Li Xiuxian had already been unable to go on by Surena and Jin Yuqin. Don't succeed this time. Even if you try your hardest, you can't do anything to Ming Zaishuan. However, before he could finish his sentence, Li Xiuhui had already left. What a Chinibi guy. He has never changed since he was a child. Li Xiuxian, wait for me. Let's go together. As an S-rank hunter, saintess Lu Xing'an secretly kept a school-age child. These days, Zai Xian hasn't contacted him, so Lu Xing'an can only take the initiative to contact Zai Xian. You contacted me because you want to hear about my results in the freshman hunt. Right. Hearing you say it to me is more interesting. You should have expected this. I took the first basket. Zai Xuan is truly amazing. Is Tiao Xing, the financial journalist, also by your side? Hearing you say that, he was delighted. No wonder he is such a good assistant even though he is a freshman. It seems you have earned a lot of points. Surviving at Miles Academy is notoriously difficult. You have already made a successful start. As your teacher, I am also very proud. That's really great. I was worried that if I took second place, I would teach you a lesson. Did you encounter any students who performed exceptionally well in the freshman hunt? Are you trying to poach a group of talented people? I do have this idea. If you can provide intelligence, I will also give you the corresponding reward. Providing information is fine, but you want to pay me so little. Because I know if I wait a while, I won't be able to hire those people for twice or even 10 times the price I'm paying them now. Then I'll tell you. Surina and Jean Yuchin, both from the magic department. There is also Inheoni from the martial arts department. These 3 people are all talented individuals worth recruiting for the Lotus Guild. Besides these freshmen, I also know a very good person among the current students. That person is Li Zishi. I also know this person. He is not the careful young man who learns hunting. That child's talent is somewhat inferior to his older brothers. Therefore, she did not receive much attention in the family. Even so, family is family. If he is recruited to Lianhua Trade Union, it may cause friction with Fengshan Trade Union where Li Zishi is. Do you think we should risk recruiting that child? Yes, I find it very compelling. He will become the top alchemist in the world in the near future. How do you feel about him joining? With you making such a guarantee, I will certainly welcome it. Then I'll hang up first. See you next time. After chatting with Izishi, Lu Xing'en's mood improved significantly. Chairman Park Ji-hyun arrived. I got it. Please ask him to come in. Under Park Hana's guidance, a blonde woman walked into the room. When Piao Ji-hyun entered, Xianna immediately waved to Shinsai and questioned her. Understanding Shana's hint, Shinsai quietly left the room. You arrived right on time. For us businessmen, time is money. Long time no see, Chairman Lu Xing'en. We don't seem to be close enough to see each other. Happy. Please have a seat. Thank you for your hospitality. So why is the president of the Artificial Intelligence Association looking for me? This gets straight to the point. You asked this way, our relationship really can't be very close. But I don't understand this relationship either. After all, it can avoid wasting time. What do you want? I heard that the Lianhua Trade Union is currently focusing on cultivating a talented individual. That child, you might as well make an offer. These most successful business people make shoes. First visit to the Lotus Trade Union. He just wants to buy Zai Xian from Lu Xing'en. But he didn't know. Zai Xuan and Liu Xing'en's relationship isn't as close as it appears. I heard that the Lianhua Workers' Union is focusing on cultivating a talented person. Regarding that child, why don't you make an offer? At these words, silence instantly fell over the room. Excuse me? I never thought of the members of the Lotus Labor Union as tools for making money. Do you think that child is also this small? There are many things in the world that money can't buy. You just don't know it yet. As a businessman, he didn't take these words to heart at all before making the concoction. Anyway, I didn't expect you to accept my proposal. I just wanted to be polite and let you know first. But your so-called politeness really makes me uncomfortable. That's a pity then. You don't seem interested in continuing this conversation, and it's getting late. I'll be on my way then. He is indeed a businessman. He is really good at reading people's faces. Of course, that's my basic business profile. At the same time, Saishuan and the others also ushered in the second day of physical fitness testing. Everyone is looking at the upcoming exam results. Saishuan was very curious. 1. This is the level he can reach. The results of the physical test were soon displayed in front of everyone. Seeing such a result, Saishuan still felt a little disappointed. Looks like I'm still no match for a martial arts prodigy. While it's not urgent, it's also true that he cannot achieve his goal yet. How could you, a magic series cultivator, be second only to An Haoyan? Moreover, this is a physical fitness test. Do you think this is appropriate? There's nothing strange about it. I was originally from the martial arts series. Don't focus all your attention on the magic series. The body is the essence of revolution. Wait for me. One day, I will beat you up. After this test, Jin Shiji also realized the danger of Zai Xian. Because generally speaking, magic users are absolutely impossible to have this kind of physical fitness. From now on, we will conduct the second physical fitness test. AR Space Dodge Test. This test is designed to assess students' abilities and to let them know their limits. This is the legendary AR testing space. This also embodies the cutting-edge technology of our Miles College. Everyone will take the Dodge test here. Simply put, it is to build surreal virtual enemies. This allows students to fight with it and improve their practical ability. The original plan was to have everyone deal with a virtual monster composed of drones. This is just a physical fitness test, so we will only assess your dodging ability briefly. Of course, if you can defeat Mozho, we will give you a higher score. Although Zai Xian was very dissatisfied with him, what Jin Shiji said this time was indeed correct. Because the hunter's basic job is to hunt monsters. A hunter who lacks attacking power is not a successful hunter. He was just a frail mage. But it crushes all martial arts scenes. He won second place in the endurance test. The second item to be conducted is the AR evasion test. Jin Shiji distributed the items in his hand to the students. What is this thing that looks like headphones? This is a message receiving system used to assist the combat system. Augmented reality devices. You are right. Ming Zai Xian knows nothing. This thing can stimulate a large number of people to feel that the enemies constructed by the projector are real. AR combat uses drones to make monsters appear in front of you. The greatest significance of this device lies in its safety. Although it's a monster, it's virtual, so no one will get hurt. Receiving information can stimulate brainwaves. It transmits about 1/5 of the enemy's attack damage. The reason for doing this is not to hurt the students, but hope to bring them appropriate tension to improve the survival rate in the instance. This AR system has a total of 100 stages, but today's test only went up to the terrain stage. The test will be in groups of 4. Students whose names are called will form a group, then test them in order. Zai Xian and Li Xiaohui were assigned to group 3 together. Each group consists of mostly 2 students specializing in martial arts, plus 2 magic department students organized. And the strength of each group is relatively average. Li Xiaohui walked straight towards Zixuan's group. You are Ming Zixuan. I heard you got first place in the freshman hunt. I still can't understand how the magic department students can get first place. I think there must be a special reason for this. If I say there is no such thing, then I can only look for it myself. Even resorting to force, I will find the truth. You might as well have stated your purpose from the beginning. Just say you want to fight me, wouldn't that be enough? You're quite straightforward. I was just thinking the same. The remaining 2 people from the 5-do system had fierce expressions on their faces. As members of the same group, they still felt it necessary to ease the relationship between the 2. Next are 3 groups. Group 3 students, please come on stage quickly. After hearing Jin Shiji's words, Zi Xian immediately went to the A2 society. Although Li Xiaohui is very capable, the test should still be prioritized. Zi Xian actually ran towards the magical beast. 2 members of the martial arts faction wanted to call Zi Xian back. After all, in people's perception, a mage charging to the front line is no different from suicide. Actually, Zi Xian is also curious why some people still dare to order snacks for themselves now. To reduce unnecessary trouble in the future, he must show his skills here. With Zi Xian throwing a punch, the Haiga soldier was instantly killed. This was something that nobody expected. Even Jin Yichin and Surina off the field were frightened. Then more Haigu soldiers appeared. There is no exception. All these monsters were instantly killed by Zai Xian with 1 punch. So this is the active skill magic armament that Zi Xuan learned. This is a special skill that an ordinary magician can never learn. This does not mean that this skill is very attractive, but it's because this skill can increase the mage's physical damage. So for other mages, this skill is useless. Kudizi Xianarian K Ning Jida Qingdu Tixing Ta de Zandali. Everyone in the magic department said he was a man. Those from the martial arts faction directly said that this was an impossible task. Because Zixuan is from the magic department, he always charges forward in every battle. He even learned some useless skills that other mages look down upon. Because the path he chose has been attempted by countless people. But no one has succeeded in becoming a battle mage yet. By this method, Zixuan perfectly passed the second dodge test of the current stage. He even broke the record for the shortest time. And all this is thanks to Lu Xing'an's hand-on combat training for him. Although Lu Xing'an always gives Zai Xian a feeling of not being mature enough every time she teaches. However, the fact proved that Lu Xing'an's teaching method was very effective. What trick did you play? That's all you just saw. You, a mage, rushing to the front line is just. He single-handedly wiped out the enemy. Who would believe this? It is absolutely impossible not to play tricks. No matter what you say, I still say the same thing. What you just saw is everything. Things can happen more than 3 times. So I don't want to repeat it for the 3rd time. If you are really that curious, why don't I show you my power now? Li Xiaohe was so enraged that he instinctively wanted to use magic on Zixuan. What happened to you two? Hearing the instructor's scolding, Li Xiaoxian immediately calmed down. If expelled for fighting, then it would be a complete waste. Seeing that Li Xiaohui didn't intend to strike, Zai Xian turned and left. Don't think you've already won me. It seems I didn't lose to you. At the Miles Academy Festival, we two will have a showdown. No, I won't fight you at the Miles Academy Festival. Li Xiaohui thought that Zai Xian looked down on him. His brow immediately furrowed. Miles Academy Festival that day. I already have an appointment. As the drama passed, the next day's classes also ended. Anhaoyan lay in bed and recalled everything that happened today. He knew that the person who had made a pact with Zai Xian to have a showdown at the Miles Academy Festival was himself. He is happy that Zai Xian considers him a competitor. It is not time to rest yet. I have to step up my training. We must not let him make a mistake then. At the same time, Jin Shiji went to find Xiaozi with today's data. You saw the result of this physical test. I just looked at the route. This year's freshmen are really something. The magic department student named Ming Zixuan. He even broke the shortest time record in the physical fitness test. Jin Shiji knows clearly. Ming Zixuan is not simply a capable way out. As a magic student, he showed his old chains in the striker position. Has surpassed many practitioners. There were only a dozen or so people when they reached Xiaoziren's office. Today's physical test was really hard on everyone. Quickly tell me the result of this physical test. There were 3 judges who scored a perfect score, namely Anhaoyan, Qi Yuyuan and Ming Zixuan. Among them, Ming Zixuan's performance was especially outstanding. Continue to follow Ming Zixuan's actions and achievements, and think about how to keep the price down. If he acts strangely, tell me immediately if instructor Jin Jishur is available. I'm relieved then. That's all for today. The instructors are going back to prepare for the next activity. She broke the academy's record for fastest completion. After class, he even perfectly passed the dodge test on the 27th attempt. This level is equivalent to 6 C-level practitioners. Very few people who know the saintess know that Zai Xian is actually Lu Xing'an's only direct disciple. Even though Zai Xian's skills have far surpassed the level of a student. But he still has to prepare for the next event. Because the upcoming simulated copy event is a major mistake in the history of Malaysia Academy. This is also a tragic incident that caused innocent students to lose their lives. In her previous life, Zixuan was at the center of this tragedy. Finally, he was the only member of the entire team still alive. Everyone told him, "You might as well die." Even though he was subjected to such insults, Zixuan couldn't leave Miles Academy. Because he cannot let the people who trust him down. His life grew increasingly dark because of this tragedy. He didn't know if he could survive this time, whether it was worth it or not. He, who was once unable to protect anyone, was condemned by thousands. Or like a disposable body, a creature that can be replaced and discarded at any time. Therefore, Zixuan doesn't want to repeat these regrettable things. Once is enough. Time has flown by, and it's now the day before the Jing instance. Zai Xian, do you want to go with us? Every time he saw these two, Zai Xian's tense nerves would get a momentary respite. What should I do tomorrow? This is my first time entering a dungeon. I also haven't slept since yesterday. It's okay. Everyone feels this way the first time they enter a dungeon. What are you talking about? Listening to you, I thought this wasn't your first time in this instance. I haven't been to Fubin, but I've seen monsters a few times. Isn't there a monster right beside me now? Hearing this, Jin Yiqing immediately pounced on Zai Xian and sat down. What are you talking about, you little brat? Surina, who had always been quiet, watched the two of them from the side. He actually envied their relationship. Even just being with them, Surina feels warmth in her heart. If you are truly that worried, bring this too. Is this the potion you bought? I bought mine and brought some for you. Don't be shy when you need it. Although Zixuan knew clearly that in his previous life it was good luck that he survived. This time he will rely on his own strength. Time flew by and it was the day of the dungeon event. Zai Xian started warming up the stove early in the morning. Even extremely powerful magicians can suffer from magic backlash due to the sudden abuse of high-level magic. This will cause great damage to the user's body. Zai Xian's lightning chain and offering are both high-level skills. So he started his magic warm-up early in the morning. And in this simulation instance, it is still unknown what kind of danger will be encountered. Maybe Zixuan or his teammate Mofa will stay in the simulation forever. Zai Xian suddenly discovered that if he condensed his magic power in his dantian beforehand, it can be used immediately to strengthen the body or magic when needed. At that very moment, the nun's system suddenly appeared without warning. Only male artists survived in Dantian's side quest. All the students began to curse him, even wishing that the dead person was him. From then on, Zixuan lived a life like a disposable item. But the Zixuan of this life already possessed strength far surpassing that of that time. He believes that this time he can protect all his companions. At this very moment, the Nuanuo system suddenly appeared. This is the first main quest the Norn system has given to Zixuan. You have traveled back to the time you most wanted to return to. From now on, you will relive a turning point you once regretted. Will you make the same choice as before, or a different one? Your choice may determine the life or death of others. All outcomes depend on your single thought. The Manhwa system only gave Zai 2 options and did not display any other information about the mission. Zai also did not understand what these words meant. One thing is for sure, the Norn system wants Zai to grow up to help them achieve their goals. But this task and choice, Zai just couldn't understand. Everyone quickly arrived at the simulation instance. This simulated combat instance will be randomly grouped. Team members must cooperate to complete the instance. Hearing these words, the students immediately began to discuss. Because this grouping method is very unfair. If you meet a strong teammate, they can easily pass. But if you're unlucky, it is possible that the entire group is made up of weak individuals. However, Jin Jian quickly raised his hand to signal everyone to be quiet. This mock copy combat is a real test. The results will be included in the final score. Only low-level monsters comparable to your level will appear in the simulation. I hope everyone will do their best to complete this test. But Zai knew very well this was just a trap set by Ziren. Although most of the here are low-level, according to Zai experience from his previous life. Mixed in here are some boss-level monsters. With Zai current level, the Earth-level boss Beast King is not his opponent. But he also didn't want Ziren's plan to go smoothly. Moreover, Ziren has shown his weakness in this activity. This might be a chance to deliver a fatal blow to him. Time is almost up. Now we will start random grouping. Students whose names are called, please come forward. Draw here. Under Jin Jian's organization, the grouping quickly ended. Zai and Shirina were lucky to be in Inzi's class. That's great. There's another familiar person in the same group. Surina blushed and nodded without saying anything. This is good news for Zai because Surina's strength is guaranteed. Just then, the remaining 2 members of the group came over. At the moment Zhang Xian turned around, he could hardly believe his eyes. Hello, I am Jin Jinya from the Wudo department. I am Xinu Park from the martial arts department. We are all members of group 3. Nice to meet you. And in her past life, she stood in front of Zai Xian, Jin Jinya and Park Sinu. Until then, Zai understood the task that the North system had given him. This is the choice he faces. The 2 people who saved Zai Xian's life in the previous life. He is now once again on Zai Xian's team. Only then did Zai understand the intention of the Nun system. Looking at the 2 people in front of him, an inexplicable emotion welled up in Zai heart. Perhaps it was the joy of reunion, or perhaps it was the shame and regret of not being able to save them. However, Zai quickly suppressed this emotion. Nice to meet you, I'm Zai Xian, from the magic department. This is Su Rui, from the magic department. He knows me a little. I'll bring him to say hello to you guys. I'll leave it to you later. It's okay, they are all in the team. We'll count them in a moment. We get along well, just relax. Seeing them like this, Zai felt a little happy. They are always like this. They are very enthusiastic to everyone. Now that everyone knows each other, let's formulate a battle plan. After unanimous recommendation, Zai was finally appointed as the team leader. The following period of time, Zai explained several common combat plans to them. Everyone must keep in mind. Never be motivated by anything that appears in the instance. Especially the Wudo opera standing in the front. Once you waver, the whole team will collapse. Truly worthy of the freshman hunt's first place. The details of this plan are no joke. There are 6 teams in total, and I have all of them recorded. The preparation time is over. The captains and team members of all the squads came to the front to assemble. Hearing this, Zai quickly searched for Jin Yongqin in the crowd. After discovering that he was on the same team as Inhaoyan, Zai also felt relieved. Thus, Zai led the group into the simulated dungeon. Then Inhaoyan's team entered the dungeon. They adopted a 1-2-1 formation. Everyone was a little nervous because it was their first time entering the dungeon. After all, it is a mineral copy. There should be werewolves here, right? There should be. And there should also be a lot of ore here. There should be diamonds here too. If we look carefully, we may find it. Something is approaching. Everyone, hold your formation. Jin Yongqin almost immediately entered a state of preparation. The 2 remaining people couldn't help but tremble all over out of fear. Their enemies were a pack of ordinary wolves. In the narrow mine, the 4 people were still surrounded by monsters. Although this monster is fierce, it's not good if there are too many of them. We must fight a quick battle. Inhaoyan said and rushed out first. Jin Yongqin did not hesitate and began to chant magic. In an instant, powerful rays of light danced in the mine. Werewolves who have lived in dark environments for a long time have almost all lost their vision. Inhaoyan, who charged into the horde of monsters, took the opportunity to reap their lives. But he soon realized. The remaining 2 people in the group have already been attacked by the werewolf. Haiming World's Wind. Hear my call. Jin Yongqin used the skill Air Blast. All the werewolves who attacked their teammates were killed. After resolving the Warcraft issue, and Haoyan immediately began to ask about her teammates' physical condition. They found the Shurhao of the Wudo system kneeling on the ground. Kekabukye. Anlishwolai Langranchi Bu Hui Yong Du De. They also don't know what happened. It was at this moment. A huge wolf horn appeared before them. Shurhao was not poisoned. This is a symptom of magic poisoning. There is terrifying magic around us now. And Haoyan also couldn't understand why the Beast King would appear here. From ordinary simulation copy testing, it actually hides a boss-level monster. Although Zishuan had known this information for a long time, but he couldn't tell these things to himself. However, due to Zai Xian's strong abilities, they didn't encounter any difficulties along the way. I didn't expect you to be so capable, Zixian. You single-handedly took down several monsters. This is nothing. It was easily solved. Just as everyone was chatting enthusiastically, Surina remained silent. Zishuan also noticed Surina's situation. So he silently walked to Surina's side. You are still not used to being with them. Surina silently nodded. Zishuan also didn't expect Surina to be this shy. However, in her previous life, there were rumors that Surina never spoke more than 3 sentences at a time. At this moment, Park Sinu, who was walking in front, suddenly stopped. They had already reached an empty room. Zishuan's previous life had no such thing. He immediately understood that this must have been done by Chiu Ziren. But the next second, he felt a powerful dream. The source of this magical power is the Beastman's web that plunged him into the center of the tragedy. Something is coming towards us. Execute plan C using a defensive then counteroffensive tactic. He is different from our previous opponents. Everyone be careful. Tayo Xinjian was very puzzled. Were there even stronger enemies here? Didn't the instructor say there were only low-level Nubiast here before? Suddenly, a violent explosion occurred in front of them. Then the Beast King appeared in front of everyone. This is the Beast King. Why are there boss-level monsters here? Surina's first reaction was also to step back. But he remembered Zixian's previous reminder. If the martial arts fight in the front falters, then this whole team is finished. So he, without a word, cast a magical barrier around them. The moment the magical barrier appeared, Tiao Xingyun quickly reacted. Beast King Changju arrived in front of the Beast King in the blink of an eye. Zishuan unhesitatingly used magical armament. There was a loud boom, and the inside was immediately filled with smoke. Although she had seen Zishuan use this skill, its powerful force still startled Surina a little. Surprisingly, after taking that punch, the Beast King still stood before everyone. Even before Zai Xian arrived, he had considered the possibility of new variables. But he didn't expect. I unexpectedly encountered the regenerating Beast King. Relying solely on this ability, the difficulty of conquering the Beast King will be greatly increased. Just then, the Nun's system detected that the person behind the Orc King was Odin's Raven. Immediately issued the Crow Hunter mission to Zishuan. Eliminate all of Odin's ravens that are suppressing you and the Ace of Protoss dissenters. For every crow chick that Xian defeats, he gets a blank card. Zishuan's rank will be promoted when all the crows are solved. Just always hiding behind teammates. A boy who only runs away from problems. Now, however, she has taken the initiative to stand up and protect her teammates. I can still stand. I will stay and help you. Surina's eyes told Zishuan he definitely couldn't convince her. Perhaps this is the identification that Zishuan brought. Go to the dungeon record quickly and tell Instructor Jin Jian about the situation here. Please, can we survive? It all depends on you. Jin Jinyan knows this too. Staying here will only hold them back. We will bring the instructor as soon as possible. You must hold on. In this way, Tiao Xinghe and Jin Jinya left their parents. Zishuan and Surina stayed behind. They need to stall for as much time as possible. Or defeat the Beast King who has the ability to heal himself. Rina, I will cover you from behind. Use your skills boldly and with confidence. It happened by the way. Help me destroy the evil in the world. Almost instantly, all the werewolves were killed by Surina. But at this time, the Beast King once again waved the wooden staff in his hand. Zishuan continuously dodged his attacks with his speed advantage. Suddenly he discovered a detail that could change the course of the war. The Beast King's body was slowly melting. This means his physical body can withstand limited magic power, and the crow hiding behind him must be forcibly giving him more magic power than he can handle. Zishuan did not hesitate. Immediately equipped countless lives. Not having children allows Zishuan to broaden his horizons and provides him with an active skill, magic perception. During the use of magical perception, Zishuan can more clearly perceive all existences that utilize magic power, and the way energy flows that is used. Magic threads were appearing on the body of the Beast King in front of Zishuan. and those fine silk tips. Then he was touched by the palm of a crow. I finally found you, the one who only plays tricks behind my back. Under the crow's control. The Beast King raised the Tomb Master in his hand again. This farce should end. Let me give you a proper send-off. The scene shifts to Asgard. Fujin, do you have anything to report to me? I discovered the whereabouts of Fujishing, who had been missing from the god's warehouse, through my crows. So where is that thing now? In Midgard. Fujishing is currently in the hands of the rebels predicted in the prophecy. The rebel. Could it be that stinky old man, Mimir? You are overreacting. Anyway, we have already signed a contract with the opponents of the Asgard clan. Tor, you are too comfortable. Have you forgotten the last war? Did we lose Bajor? It was Fujishing who killed him. Lady Fu, please check if the rebel in the prophecy and the opponents of the Asa clan have made contact. We humbly obey Odin's orders. The lady's appearance was exactly like that of Funchuan's father. Ning Qingao meanwhile, in Chioziren's office. So how is the situation over there now? Jin Jian, as you instructed, is still outside and has not entered his parents' place. No one has realized anything is wrong yet. That's good. Luckily I borrowed that person's favor in advance. Everything I do is for Odin and the Aesir. It should only be a test with low-level monsters. However, a D-class boss, the Beast King, suddenly appeared. Everyone just stood in front of him. It will then exude its magic. He has developed severe magical powers. However, Jin Jian, the instructor, was completely unaware of this. He was still watching Zai Xuan's previous battle route. Even as a first-class hunter, he couldn't fight like Zai Xian. So he thought that this time, in the parent simulation, Zai Xian and his team most likely took first place. But just as the simulated parent's door was about to officially open, he didn't expect Zai Xuan to finish the test so quickly. But when he saw who it was, he couldn't help but be surprised. Instructor Jin Jian, something bad happened. Something terrible happened. What's wrong? What happened inside? Instructor, a Beast King has appeared among our parents. You said the Beast King? How is that possible? Fortunately, his fondness for things has not been a major issue. He just has a slight case of magic gravity. Jin Jian couldn't understand what went wrong with this test. Instructor, haven't the members of the third group come out yet? And Zai Xuan and the others haven't come out yet. And Hao Yan couldn't understand why this was happening. With Zai Xuan and Rena's strength, they should have come out to collect resources long ago. Out of necessity, Jin Jian could only call Chioziren's movie. Mayorly, I am Instructor Jin Jian. Instructor Jin Jian, what can I do for you? Jin K. Ren's simulated copy has encountered a must-kill warcraft. Please send reinforcements as soon as possible. So this is what happened. You don't have to worry too much. I'll send a support team over there right away. Stay put until the support team arrives. Although Chioziren told him not to worry. But Jin Jian always had a bad feeling. At the same time, Zai Xuan and his men are still fighting the Beast King. Surina and Jin Jinya collapsed on the ground from exhaustion. Piao, who stood at the forefront of the team, had already lost her fighting ability. Now the only one who can still fight is Zai Xuan. But the Beast King was unharmed because of his self-healing ability. After the prompt of Nun's system, Zai Xian knew things were not that simple. Odin has 2 ravens. A cat named Fujing, representing emotions and thoughts. One named Wu Enai, represents memory. He observed the weather through these 2 crows. Rules over Asgard. This is all you're doing, Odin's followers. The Beast King's magic power before me has already surpassed Bingzi's. And also has the ability to regenerate. Even Zai Xian would have difficulty defeating such an opponent. For Zai Xian, escaping might be the best option. After all, running away before crossing over was a common occurrence. But he lived with regret every day. Now, finally, he has a second chance. Zai Xian hopes that this time, he can protect him. Everyone, you must remember what I am saying. I will hold this guy back. You guys hurry up and get out of the dungeon. What does this mean? How can you possibly do it alone? Zai Xian twisted the man behind Tiao Xin knew before she finished her sentence. This is not a test. Now is the time of life and death. Let's get to the point. Run. I can't protect you while standing still. The monster that pushed the boy's life into the abyss. He appeared in front of Zai Xuan once again. Zai Xian's strength has long surpassed what it used to be. But the Beast King also gained the ability to heal himself. At the crucial moment, Zai Xuan found his body slowly transforming into a human form. With Hu Jixing's strength, Zai Xuan finally found the mastermind behind all of this. This farce should end. Let me send you on your way. With Hu Jixing's help, Zai Xuan can summon more lightning chains. Almost instantly, the chains of lightning reached the Beast King. However, the Beast King is ultimately a boss-level monster. Moreover, he also gained power from Odin's raven water. Zai Xian could only quickly distance himself after one unsuccessful blow. Rina, can you cover us so his attacks can't hit me? I'll try. But Su Rina's current situation is also very bad. They both knew one thing. Even if Zai Xuan defeats the Beast King, Su Rina is likely to die from the reflected magic. Therefore, Zai Xuan couldn't understand why Su Rina still wanted to help him even though it was like this. Zai Xuan finally had a chance to start over. He had already made up his mind not to trust anyone anymore. Because for the weak, this world no longer has a place for them. But in his previous life, a martial arts uncle told him, of all the ways to die, there is none more tragic than to die of mistrust and failure. And now, the opportunity before Zai Xuan is only once. Zai Xuan absolutely refused to allow himself to make any mistakes. The lightning chain of trees rushed towards the Beast King again. The Beast King still wants to break these chains like last time. It was a pity that this time Zai Xian had Su Rina's help. Falopin helped Zai Xuan block all the attacks of the Orc King. However, Zai Xian knew clearly that Su Rina couldn't hold on for long. Therefore, he had to act quickly. Only in this way can Su Rina survive. And he also wanted to prove that the uncle was right. Su Rina didn't expect Zai Xian to use the lightning chains as a mobility skill. Without super magic palm-touching ability. This is something that is absolutely impossible to do. Just as Zai Xuan was about to collide head-on with the Beast King. Zai Xuan, however, suddenly manipulated the lightning chains to reach the Beast King's Shanghai. The Beast King immediately gathered his strength, preparing to deliver a fatal blow to Zai Xian. If Zai Xuan is hit, Su Rina's magic barrier will instantly break. Just as Zai Xuan was about to be hit by the fist. He, however, propelled himself into the air by means of the lightning chains. Zai Xuan recalled the basic swordsmanship he had practiced countless times in his previous life. From bottom left, swing the sword in your hand vertically upwards. A lingering nightmare from my past dark life. Zai Xuan hoped to use his skills from his previous life to help him. This time, I will never let you regenerate easily. Yuan Lai Zai Xian was aiming at the magic thread between the Beast King and the crow. After severing these threads, Zai Xian fiercely slashed his sword towards the Beast King. The war machines, filled with rage, caused Zai Xuan's sword to break. Fortunately, all of this has ended. The strongest voice of the magic department. Zai Xian, however, decided to use basic swordsmanship at the last moment. But this does not mean his swordsmanship has the power to change the tide of battle. Because basic swordsmanship was his only attack skill in his previous life. Facing the beginning of her nightmare-like life in her previous life. He wants to use his former skills to settle the score with him. Okay. Now everything is over. Now let me take a good look at your ugly face. He broke through the rock wall with his lightning chains because of Luo Zai Xian. Behind the cliff, there was unexpectedly a hidden cave. Hiding inside. It is the crow that controls the Beast King. Zai Xuan didn't say a word and stepped on it. Tell me, what exactly is Odin's purpose? But the crow remained silent. But at that moment, Zai Xuan noticed the necklace on his neck. So he gave the crow another hard kick. What is the relationship between Qiu Ziren and Odin? Seeing the crow didn't answer, Zai Xian knew that there was no point in continuing. So he ended the crow's life with one kick. The only thing to watch out for now is the backlash of magic. Zai Xian, have you finished over there? Zai Xuan suddenly felt a chill run through his body. The battle is not over yet. Be careful of the backlash of your magical power. Because Luo and another person suffered a backlash of magic power almost simultaneously. However, the stagnant magic that entered Zai Xuan's body was purified by the pure magic within him. This has a lot to do with him warming up with magic early in the morning. Not only that, Zai Xian's magical power in the atmosphere has permanently increased by 1%. At this time, the North System also sent Zai Xian a task reward notification. After defeating a crow, he gained 5 talent points and a blank card. His level also increased by 1. Because of the upgrade. Zai Xuan's body recovered quickly. But the Nun system alerted him that a teammate was in danger. If the teammate is not treated in time, he will die. Not long after, Su Rina finally opened her eyes. Zai Xuan was sound asleep beside him at this moment. Su Rina was very curious about what was going on. He quickly woke up Zai Xian beside him. You're awake. How are you feeling now? Su Rina remembered clearly, she had just been struck by backlash from her magical powers. But now his physical strength and magic power have fully recovered. I seem to be fine now. I'm fine too. Just dozed off a little bit internally. Su Rina then looked around. Isn't the Beast King already defeated? Why haven't you left? I am waiting for you to wake up. Because I have something I want to tell you. Do you have something to tell me? What do you want to say? I think it's time for us to have a deep discussion here. The moment she heard those words, Surena's face turned red instantly. The scene shifts outside the instance. Jin Yuqing is scolding Park Xing and Jin Jinyan, who ran out alone. Jin Youqing Tongxue ni Xianlingjing, wa Feichang Li Jian ni Danxing Tongxue de Xinqing. And Hao Yuan watched all this from the side, but he could do nothing. Unless Zai Xuan and Rui Na can return, this matter will definitely not end easily. Just then, he found the dungeon door opened. Friendship, wait a moment. Don't stop me. You see, they both have come back. Because King Miyazuma has not come out. And rebuked his team. If Jin Jiyan had not stopped him. Jin Yiqing wished she could go in and find Zai Xian right now. But he didn't know. Zai Xuan was having a deep conversation with Shirina in the instance. Friendship, calm down. Look at the instance dungeon entrance quickly. They have come back alive. You guys wouldn't be fighting because of us, would you? The Overwatch team clearly said they were both dead. And judging by the magic power within the copy, their opponent is at least a desperate protector. Seeing the two return, Jin Yuqing also cried and rushed towards the two. The instructor and the inspection team all said you wouldn't be back. It's good that you are all right. It's good that you are all right. Okay, let us go first. Pushing Yu and Jin Jinya hesitated whether to go up and care about him. Pushing Yu, Jin Jinya, thank you for believing in me. The two of them came out early because of my instructions. It was I who asked them to go out first and find the instructor for help. So they should not receive everyone's money. Even if you say so, they can't leave their teammates behind and come out first. If I were in their shoes, I would do the same. So stop blaming them. You shouldn't be angry with them because of me. What nonsense. I'm not angry because of you. I saw their appearance because of Rina. Jin Jian also breathed a sigh of relief. However, he also harbored doubts about Chiu Ziren. 3 minutes ago, Su Rina thought that what Zai Xian meant by deep communication was that. However, Zai Xian actually just wanted to open his heart to him. And ask him to keep everything that happened today a secret. Why do you hide your ability? Are you not curious why the king of the sufferers appears in the dungeon? Why are students in danger? Chiu Ziren, the chairman, is a scumbag. He has always treated students as tools. His true nature is completely different from what you see in the media. He thinks that any student who has no use value is worthless, even if they die. So you want to restrain President Chiu Ziren, and you even deliberately hid your own strength for this. After getting these answers, Surina's mind was suddenly opened. The day you came out of the chairman's office, you told me not to trust Chiu Ziren and the instructor. I wonder how much you really know about Chairman Chiu Ziren. You seemed to know from the beginning that he was a bad person, and your behavior made me feel like you already knew what was going to happen. How did you know these things? Since you want to have a deep conversation with me, then answer my question. Zai Xuan knew clearly. If Su Rui was involved, he will definitely be in danger. Moreover, his magic adaptability is very high. Zai Xian's brainwashing will not work on him. Even if I told him all this, it wouldn't make Su Rina my companion. I'm sorry, I can't tell you too much right now. Knowing too much will put you in danger. I hope you can understand. Time returns to the present. Jin Jian thinks about how she was unable to provide timely assistance. Xiang Zaishuan complained. Zaishuan also knows that as an instructor, he must maintain order outside. It's okay. You didn't mean to put us in this situation. I have to go now. I'm really tired today. After experiencing a life or death crisis together, Zai Xuan immediately had a deep conversation with Shirina. Their relationship blossomed quickly. Although Zai Xian has already told Surina the true face of Director Chiu Ziren. However, Zai Xuan thinks these things are not enough to make Surina her partner. But he didn't know that Surina's feelings for him had already taken flight. Can you really tell me a little more about those things? Maybe something similar will happen in the future. I believe you will keep our previous promise. Before Surina could say anything, Zai Xian left alone. Jin Shiji instructor, this time you really disappointed me. I'm sorry, Mayerly. This was my fault. As my most loyal subordinate, I can forgive you once, but I will never keep useless people around. You know what I mean. Next time I will definitely not let you down again. Instructor Jin Shiji, you'd better keep your word. The next event must tame this wild horse, Ming Zaishuan. Don't exhaust my patience. Otherwise, you know the consequences. The scene shifts to Zaishuan's suite. He had already taken a good bath and relaxed. Looking at the combat uniform he wore today, Zai Xian couldn't help but fall into deep thought. The world before the journey, only love dies. And Hao Yin did not even change half of his ability. To change all this, Zaishuan must intervene in their lives. But Surina is different from these two people. Even if there is no Zaishuan, he can be fully successful on his own. So Zaishuan decided that the next time he interacts with him, he must be more cautious. After all, Zaishuan didn't know What changes will this bring to his future? But now, it's more important to find the connection between Ziren and Ascension. After all, this dungeon incident is just the beginning. There will definitely be more dangerous situations in the future. To deal with these things, Zai must grow up immediately. While Zai Xian was thinking about these things, he heard the conversation on the television. Besides ordinary dungeons, there are also other dungeons in this world. For example, theme instances. The way to clear this copy is different. You need to meet certain conditions. If there is anything special, it is the challenge of the thematic instance. 15 methods were blocked halfway. Hearing this, Zai Xian abruptly stood up. He hurried to the calendar to check what day it was today. He almost forgot about it if the TV hadn't reminded him. People challenging themed instances will become characters within that theme. To clear the instance, they must meet specific conditions. Although the thematic copy is much harder than the normal copy, but the rewards they offer are often more powerful items. Among hunters, these tools are known as divine arrangements. This is also why hunters are eager to challenge themed dungeons. Scene changes to Jin Yuqing and their secondary room. Sorry. We made you worried. It's okay. As long as you two are safe. Zai Xuan's personality is a bit annoying. I'm more worried about him bullying others. When we were together, he always annoyed me. Surina was clearly a little unhappy when she heard this. Did that stinky brat really bully you in the dungeon? No. It's just that Zai Xuan seems to trust you a lot. Surina thought, if only Zai Xian could rely on her a little more. If I could be a little stronger then. Seeing Surina like this, Jin Yuqing felt very uncomfortable. Let's go eat something delicious. Don't bring Zai Xuan, that stinky kid. Surina was a little lustful at first. But Jin Yuqing did this only to make herself happy. He finally opened up to Jin Yuqing. It is reported that there is a special copy called the subject copy in the world. People entering the instance cannot exit at any time, and will become characters in the instance. Only by meeting specific conditions can players clear the instance. But it is precisely this theme instance with its difficulty far exceeding that of ordinary instances. Yet it continues to attract countless practitioners to conquer it. Because the rewards of this kind of replica are called God's arrangement by people. And in the near future, a themed copy will soon appear in a certain amusement park. And his reward is a part of Tiar's thunder, the acceleration magic used by Thor's servant. Because it could significantly increase agility, it became a highly sought-after item for all martial arts practitioners at the time. Zai Xian happened to allocate all his talent points to mana and endurance. With him, she can keep all her abilities balanced. However, before that, Zai Xuan needs to sort out the rewards for this mission. Eden's golden apple is a mythical consumable item. Using it can not only slow down the aging process but also enhance self-healing ability. Also increases stamina and reaction by 20 points. These effects are enough to get him a good price. Unfortunately, he is an exclusive item and cannot be traded. The efficacy of the exam for Zai Xuan was a real increase. Taking advantage of his enhanced attributes, Zai Xian decided to challenge the themed dungeon. So he dialed Lu Xinwen's phone number. Soon after, Zai Xuan then came to the amusement park where the themed instances would appear. Thinking back to the world before I crossed over, the facilities here are indeed rather boring. Hello, sir? Which ticket do you need? Zai Xuan silently handed a card to the ticket window. I am Ming Zai Xian, a practitioner of the Lotus Guild. In a moment, the theme copy will appear here soon. Meanwhile, someone came to the building where Zai Xuan's dormitory was located. You said that classmate Zai Xuan has already left. Yes. He came over to my place last night and got a travel permit. Jin Jian did not expect Zai Xian to recover so quickly after experiencing that kind of thing. You should know that he is just a freshman. Not only is she outstanding in strength, but she also overcomes psychological shadows very quickly. Jin Jian began to involuntarily pay attention to Zai Xian. When Ming Zaishuan comes back, could you please ask him to come find me? I will convey your message. Thank you. I appreciate it. After finishing her business, Jin Jian left Zai Xian's dormitory. Then he came to a corner of the campus. After making sure no one was following him, he took out his communication device. I am Jin Jian. Group leader Song Jishi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? How is the investigation going on your end? Jin confirmed the accident in the simulation instance was special. It was Ziren who did it himself. This time the overall person in charge is Jin Jiji. He should be in charge with Ziren. You continue to pay attention to him. Please contact me if there is anything urgent. I understand. I have one more thing to report to you. I previously mentioned Ming Zaishuan to you. He seems to know something. He only said one sentence to the ticket seller. Let the bustling amusement park become instantly deserted. The broadcast was still playing the emergency evacuation announcement until this moment. Zai Xuan contacted Liu Xing'an for convenience. He didn't expect the name of the Lianhua trade union to be so good. However, Zai Xuan could not use the name of the United Flour Workers Union without any restraint. For example, this time Liu Xing'an made a condition to Zai Xuan. If danger arises, you must prioritize your own safety. I don't distrust your ability. But what teacher would want their students to be in danger? After all, the dungeon is an unpredictable place. It was at this time that the theme copy, the fantastical park that had become ruins, appeared. You can only obtain the lei tibu of Tyrfei after completing all 3 tasks here. The task takes a total of 24 hours. Zai Xian was able to find this place because the previous challenger announced the location of each level. His inherent skill is 4-dimensional acceleration. With this skill, Su Yashuan swaggers everywhere every day. He was eventually killed in a power struggle due to envy. Because of this, the thunderous stride of Tyrfei ultimately fell into the hands of others. Therefore, it is better to get it ourselves than to let it fall into someone else's hands. He had those hints from his previous life. Zai Xian quickly found the first task. The first task is the pirate ship. Zai Xian needs to change the ending of the story. With a flash of light, Zai Xian was transported into the instance. Just as he left, a figure appeared at the door of the pirate ship. Zai Xuan's first task was to raise Alfei's hatred. He will transform into Alfei, a warrior who survived the Viking invasion. Because Thor coveted the image of the spear of Tyrf, he wanted to take Tyrf as his own. Thor ordered someone to kidnap Alfei's younger sister, Roskva, as a hostage. To pass this level, Zai Xian needs to ensure that both of them survive. Rescue Roskanwa. Tyrfei was originally a mortal. He hated the Norse gods that the Vikings worshipped because his entire family had perished at their hands. However, this information contradicted the stories Zai Xian had read since he was a child. He was very curious. Is this also the difference between the Asa system and the Norn system? Alfei. Wake up. Zai Xian, who had just crossed over to this world, was still a little uncomfortable. However, Zai Xuan's memory told him that they were now taking the Vikings' ship to rescue Rosakunwa. And this person in front of me. He is the one who planned the operation to seize the ship. Taik. Just then, the 2 ships crashed into each other. Only Zai Xuan and Fedidik were able to stand firmly on the deck at this time. And they were already surrounded by the Viking ships. Countless Vikings jumped onto their decks. Although I don't know what the situation is now. However, Zai Xian could only put off looking for Roskanwa. You go hide, I'll handle this. Wait for Alfei, you can't be alone. Before he finished his words, Zai Xuan jumped onto the enemy's ship. And he saw something unexpected here. The person who played Roskamnadzor was unexpectedly Su Yashuan. Obtained Alfei's thundersteps. Zai Xuan used the name of the Lianhua trade union. Cleared the entire amusement park. But he didn't expect that in the first level of the theme dungeon. Ran into Su Yashuan, who had cleared this instance in her previous life. He couldn't understand why this happened. Moreover, Su Yashuan plays a role in the instance. That was Roskamnava. Zai Xuan didn't know. Su Yashuan's presence here is completely meaningful. In the first 3 minutes of the radio broadcast evacuating people, Su Yashuan happened to enter the bathroom. When he came out, he found that the amusement park had become a themed instance. A more tragic thing. Everyone else left him early. Therefore, Su Yashuan could only hope that the strategy team would arrive soon. But before that, he still hoped to find something that, like him, hadn't gone out. At that moment, he noticed Zai Xian, who was preparing to raid the dungeon. Therefore, Su Yashuan followed Zai Xian all the way, until entering the first level of the main copy. Zai Xuan is also having a headache now. If someone else gets involved, it will be better. It was Su Yashuan, the one who cleared the dungeon in the previous life, who could enter the dungeon. You fool, instead of hiding, you dare to brazenly ascend to the enemy's main camp. Let that foolish boy taste the power of the bow and arrow. Countless arrows instantly shot towards Zai Xian. But Zai Xian only activated the magic barrier and knocked down all these attacks. Why are there always people around me who are not mentally normal? Before she could finish her sentence, Zai Xian then activated his magic armament and charged forward. Only the screams of the enemy could be heard on the deck. Zai Xian is very confused right now, but things are looking up. Perhaps bringing Su Yashuan, this cunning fellow, will make it easier for me to pass the level. Since things have reached this point, Zai Xuan decided to take him along and make the most of him. Just then, a bald man with a big build suddenly rushed in. Unfortunately, Zai Xuan dodged his attack by simply leaning to the side. Then he punched the big man in the face. Zai Xian needs to deal with these people quickly. Then Su Yashuan was rescued. Enter the next key. I don't have that much time to fool around with you guys right now. Stop dawdling. All of you, come at me together. A fleeting attack. Zai Xuan then eliminated all his enemies. Stop pretending to sleep. Get up quickly. You are Roskomnadzer. You found me, then you must be TFA, right? Right, but then again. Zai Xian suddenly punched the railing. I know what you're up to. Don't try to test my limits with your petty tricks. Su Yashuan was so scared that she couldn't say a word and could only nod obediently. After Su Yashuan went out, the two of them also returned to the starting point. Zai Xian sat in front of Su Yashuan and stared at him. Jian Zaishuan spoke, so Su Yashuan only dared to sit obediently. In his eyes, Zaishuan is a magic series user who possesses martial arts skills. Although his age is similar to mine, but his personality is very unpleasant. Su Yashuan couldn't understand why she had met such a strange person. What did you say your skill was again? My skills can help people better control. At Su Yashuan's age, very few people have mastered the skill, so he thought he could get away with it. You should have more skills than just that. I hate it when people lie to me. I didn't lie. This is a skill called Shujijianshu Xiujing. Let me guess. Your skill should be called thought acceleration. She followed the man into his abdomen to survive. She thought she could get pregnant. But the man's temper was unusually strange. Thought I could deceive with wisdom. He didn't expect that the man in front of him even knew his skills. Almost instantly, Su Yashuan's last psychological defense was shattered. Can instantly slow down the user's time. This allows users to accelerate their thinking during this time. By the effect of the skill, I shouldn't be wrong, right? Su Yashuan really couldn't understand. Why could Zai Xian know the effect of his skills? It seems I can't take you with me. You probably want to use me to break through this dungeon. It's also a matter of respect. Zai Xuanshuan turned and left after finishing his words. I was wrong. Big brother, you are right about everything. Please don't leave me alone. How can I believe you? I'll do anything you want me to do now. Really? Then let's sign the contract. Hearing this, Su Yashuan was completely flustered. He did not expect Zai Xian to have such precision. After signing the contract, Su Yashuan cannot do anything to harm Zai Xian and must obey his orders until the game is cleared. Moreover, the contract's contents must be kept confidential. Accordingly, before clearing customs, Zai Xian will protect his safety. So this was the brainwashing that Zai Xian copied from Qiu Ziren. By signing a contract, one could gain partial control. For Zai Xian, this was the most effective way to tame Su Yashuan. Su Yashuan had no choice but to sign the contract. My offer is not bad. I haven't taken away your thoughts. Of course, if you want to stay here, you can terminate the contract at any time. I will try my best. Please don't leave me alone. Meanwhile, inside Her's temple, it seems that little rebel is working hard. The greedy Asa god's eyes became sharper and sharper. If I leave, they will definitely cause trouble. Strive for more incidents to let the rebels fully grow up. The scene shifts to the main instance. Su Yashuan was very curious about where they were going next. Ghost House. We will go there first. Seeing Su Yashuan's reaction, Zai Xian was also a little surprised. Are you scared? How could I be scared? Nobody fears that kind of thing anymore. It seems there is one who is afraid here. I have already said I am not afraid. You're welcome. We are ready to go in. Su Yashuan's facial expression had already revealed everything. Wait a minute. Walking over here is too tiring. I need to take a break first. Unfortunately, the next second, they were teleported to the second. They need to do it without violating the 3 rules. Leave this mansion. What role do you play this time? I seem to be a photographer. Brother, what about you? I think I am an explorer streamer for haunted houses. There hasn't been a guest here for a long time. Dear guests, hello? My name is Alfred. This is the main family serving the lord of this manor, Count Flandio. I am here today at the Earl's command to welcome you both. Stage 2 of the theme copy. It was a gloomy and terrifying mansion. Zai Xian transformed into a haunted house exploration streamer. Su Yashuan became his exclusive photographer. They received an invitation from Count Flandio. But a dark and despicable secret is hidden here. They need to record all the sincerity with a camera, uncover the secrets here, and escape from here. If successful, they will gain an active skill awakening. If they fail to escape within the specified time, or fail to uncover the secrets of the mansion, then the mission fails. And the punishment for failure is death. My name is Alfred. He is the butler who serves the master of this mansion. I am here today at the Earl's command to welcome you both. Please come in. The Earl instructed me to take good care of the 2 of you. Both of you have come from afar, you must be happy. Let me take you 2 to the restaurant first. Zai Xuan came in and saw a vase. It says, dedicated to the most beautiful and foolish girl. Seeing nothing, Zai Xian started to look around. Wow, that flower is so beautiful. Following Su Yashuan's gaze, The painting features a little girl and a golden retriever. This is the portrait of Frandio, the master of this mansion, and his love, Sean. To be able to hang his portrait here shows that his childhood memories are very meaningful to him. Of course. He kept many memories of his son. That's a very happy memory, like a dream. Seeing the housekeeper's appearance, the two felt a chill for a while. This way, please. Please don't touch anything here. Then the butler continued to lead the two of them. Zai Xuan knew he had to cheer up. The last mission hinted at the causes and consequences of the event. But now it's different. All the events and secrets here require Zai Xian to explore personally. Are you okay? You just said you weren't afraid of ghosts. It was all a lie. I'm just not used to it yet. Give me some time to adapt. At this moment, the housekeeper walking in front suddenly stopped and turned around. Is this the place? This is the dinner that Count Frendio has prepared for everyone. Please enjoy your meal. I will come back after everyone has finished eating. The housekeeper finished speaking, closed the door, and left. The two knew clearly. This meal definitely could not be eaten. Let's hurry and go somewhere else while the housekeeper is away. Wait a minute. Before that, we need to get the information here. Su Yashuan then activated her skill thought acceleration. Almost instantly, his eyes scanned the information of all the objects in the room. Then give this information to his gate for analysis. I already know something about this mansion. Zai Xuan was surprised, but he still pretended to be calm. So tell me, he said. The owner of this house should be a small child. She is petite. The chairs in the reception room are the clues. The chair that the host sits on is higher than the others. This means that Zadius Master is taller than others. The cabinets in the living room are all very low, and their handles only have dust piled up underneath. Jingsu Yashuan said so. Zai Xian also knew why he always felt strange. Then let's go to other places to gather intelligence. Speaking of which, this camera is quite expensive. If I can take it out and do it well. Aren't you supposed to go out? What are you standing there for? This is not the time to chat. We're locked in here. He is still a super genius with an IQ of 150. He only needs to take one look at the room. Can infer the characteristics of the homeowner. Zai Xuan still thought he could easily pass with Su Yashuan's intelligence. Unexpectedly, they were unexpectedly locked in the dining room. It has been 2 hours since the main copy appeared. The entrance to the amusement park was already surrounded by reporters and staff. Due to the nature of the thematic instance, rescue personnel could only wait outside. Our rating will definitely decrease. Even though he was just promoted because of the goblin incident, he is likely to be demoted this time. It seems we're going to be scapegoated again. Let's confirm the information of the two people involved first. When Park Jinxuan saw the message, he froze. Because the Lotus Guild member who entered the instance, the attendee, was Ming Zaishuan. Park Jinhoon heard that Zai Xian had gone to Miles Academy for further studies. But he didn't expect Zai Xian to join the Lotus Guild so quickly. What happened? Could it be that it wasn't 2 people who were involved? Are there 3 people? It's not certain at this time Steam copy can be successfully cleared. Although they had only met once, Zai Xian's powerful strength. This has left a deep impression on Park Jinhoon. Meanwhile, inside the theme instance, learning that she had been locked up, Su Yashuan's mood plummeted. If we are locked up here for the rest of our lives, unable to escape. Calm down. This is a dungeon. There must be a way out. There is simply no dungeon that you can't escape. Right, then I'll go over there and check it out. Zai Xuan could sense that the owner of Zaidi was not very friendly to them. Although Zai Xuan can rely on his strength. Force open this door. Look at this. This camera seems a little strange. You are being too jumpy. When Zai Xuan saw the camera, he froze. The camera footage was filled with blood. The housekeeper who just led us the way is fake. At this time, the system sent a notification. The first mystery of Shadi, Alfred's secret, reached 70%. This means that Zai Xian and his team have started to get on the right track. It seems this camera can capture things our naked eyes can't see. So I specifically added the role of photographer. This camera is the key to solving the mystery. Originally, Zai Xian was very curious. As Su Yashuan was so timid, how could she be so peaceful? Now it seems he is still calm when he thinks. The key now is what the camera actually captured. If that Alfred is fake, then the scene in the picture should be either in the past or present. That's a very insightful point you've made. Because the copy is to unlock the secret at the bottom of the house. Therefore, there's no reason to show what will happen in the future. And all these foods really exist. This means, the footage from the camera shows the past of this house. The full-scale holographic feast for guests. To film it with a camera. It turned into Alfred's body. For a moment, Su Yashuan was almost scared to tears. So these foods on the table. At least not for us to enjoy. Zai Xuan suddenly thought of something. To verify his conjecture, he threw the camera to Su Yashuan. From just now, Zai Xuan could always feel a faint magic. Therefore, he guessed that everything here was an illusion, a magic trick occasionally used to set traps in the. Zai Xuan then decided to use absolute mental calculation to break the magic here. However, surprisingly, absolute eye calculation seemed to be interfered with and did not activate successfully. Zai Xuan guessed that it might be because of the principle of the themed copy. At that moment, he noticed Su Yashuan lying on the ground, seemingly looking for something. Su Yashuan originally guessed that the mechanism to open the door might be hidden. Before us is the food, and what the camera captures is Alfred. This is the only review. Judging from the current situation, the clue to escaping is definitely here. Hearing Su Yashuan's analysis, Zai Xian immediately had a clue. He immediately activated another skill, magic perception. Indeed, I felt the magic fluctuate on the pudding. Closed magic fundamentally relies on other things or functions. To break this magic, as long as I remove the items he is attached to, I should be fine. The key to leave here is in that pudding. Su Yashuan was silent when he heard this because that position. It is Alfred's head. Are you scared now? I didn't. I went to save the world. Su Yashuan rolled up his sleeves and extended his hand towards the pudding. After some fumbling, she finally found the key. They didn't know Alfred was silently watching Liang at that moment. It seems the guests are not satisfied with the food I prepared. It's absolutely crucial to not neglect your guests, isn't it? As a butler, I will never disappoint the Earl. Meanwhile, Zai Xuan and his group had already left the restaurant. Su Yashuan observed the surroundings through the camera all the way. The scenes that appeared in the camera were all in ruins. However, at this time, Zai Xuan, who was walking in front, stopped. This seems to be the guest room. Since it is to entertain guests, the next step after dinner should be going to the guest room. And the blood trail points right here. There should be no other choice. Then let's go to our respective rooms and look for Zai Xian. Do you really want to go in? We need to clear customs. Don't you want to be locked up here forever? Shut your mouth and search the guest room. If anything happens, call me immediately. Thus, the two of them each entered their own rooms. Except for the unusually gloomy and messy room, there seemed to be nothing unusual. It seems I need to keep looking for more Zai Xian. Zai Xuan didn't know that a woman in a long dress had appeared behind him. Noticed something wrong with the import. Zai Xuan immediately turned around to look. The girl is the same as the portrait at the door, having golden intestines. At this moment, the girl suddenly pointed her finger at Zai Xuan. Alfred had quietly stood behind Zai Xuan. Finding clues to leave the instance, the two decided to split up. Before leaving, Zai Xian specially told Su Yashuan to pay attention to safety. Surprisingly, however, Zai Xuan was the first to be attacked. Zai Xuan felt a red influence in front of him. Startled, Zai Xuan abruptly opened his eyes. Are you sober now, brother? My head still hurts. Keep your voice down. Although Zai Xuan had anticipated a possible attack, he didn't expect that he wouldn't even have the chance to leave. He guessed this might also be the meaning of the duplicate plot. I used thought acceleration to check the intelligence here. There is a lot of moss here and the air is extremely humid, and traces of torture can be seen everywhere. It should be an underground prison. I feel a chill run down my spine when I think about why there's such a geographical location at the bottom of the house. So if it should be here somewhere geographically. Zai Xian suddenly punched the prison bars before he finished speaking. Fortunately, he had just used a silencer, so he didn't attract the housekeeper. Let's move as quietly as possible. It will be troublesome if Alfred notices us. You have time to talk nonsense. Why not think about how to escape from here? At this moment, Zai Xuan suddenly heard a dog bark. A chubby puppy suddenly dashed into Zai Xian's arms. Zai Xuan was very curious why there was a puppy in the prison. And the puppy was even dangling the keys. Let go of the dog. He has no magic, he just trains ordinary puppies. Look at this little guy, carrying the key. Probably also imprisoned here. It is impossible for Fubin to give me the keys so easily. The puppy might be a trap. Feeling Su Yashuan's malice, the puppy immediately let out a low growl. Su Yashuan was also scared by the puppy and took a step back. At this moment, a new mission emerged. They now had to head to the 4th floor of the mansion's basement. Go to Count Friend de Lao's room and read his diary. The reward for this level is to remove the skill restrictions of the thematic copy. For Zai Xuan, the importance of this reward is self-evident. This also shows that the diary should have a great relationship with the secret here. Thus, the two of them and their dog set out again to find the trap. We are now on the 4th floor. But this house is too big. I have no idea what to do next. The camera was also taken. It seems I can only search room by room. However, Zai Xian did not answer Su Yashuan. Brother, why are you suddenly silent? It's kind of scary. Su Jiaxuan followed Zai Xian's gaze. Suddenly, the girl who had given Zai Xian the hint appeared behind them. The gold dye on her hair was so striking. Zai Xuan was just about to ask her, "Let's go. Now is not the time to chat with ghosts." Unexpectedly, Zai Xian slapped Su Jiaxuan's hand away. "Why are you still here? Does Hua have a grudge against this house?" Hearing Zai Xian's words, the girl shook her head. "So you are here to help us?" This time the girl nodded. "Let me ask you a question. Where is Flanders' room on the 4th floor?" The girl still didn't speak but silently lifted her head and walked. And the direction of her finger was clearly behind Zai Xuan. "I see. Thank you. Wait. I will definitely give you a lot if I have a chance." As he was leaving, Su Jiaxuan turned back one last time to look at the girl. The girl's figure had long since disappeared. At the crucial moment when Song Jishi was about to be promoted. The amusement park actually has theme naming. When I thought promotion was hopeless, the Lotus Trade Union took the initiative to come to our door. "So you mean the Lianhua Guild will be responsible for this theme's writing?" "That's right, and the public opinion attack from the National Strength Hunter Association, the spearhead of the People's Council. Our Lianhua Labor Union will be responsible for resolving this. However, Chairman Lu Xing'an meant, hope you do not publicly disclose any information about Ming Xian. For a student still studying at Miles College, the Lotus Guild actually made such a big move. It's really confusing. I cannot conveniently elaborate on the detailed reasons. It's not a bad thing for us anyway. Let's do it according to Lianhua Workers' Union's suggestion. But if the instance run fails, you don't need to worry about that. If he can't even clear this instance?" The Lotus Trade Union never received applause from the beginning. Meanwhile, the screen returns to the main copy. Zai Xian easily solved the monster blocking the way. As far as I know, Yoming Keiji is a C-class magical beast. This is the shortcut. It's just a few magical beasts. Solving them is like dealing with an opponent. Thus, the two of them and the dog entered the room of Frandiel. Unlike other parts of the residence, this place felt particularly special even without a camera. Then I'll start with the desk. It's clear there will be information we need there. You go confirm first. Other places that might have clues. Okay, I'll go look at other places first. Thus, Zai Xian brought Xiao Bao to the desk. When he picked up the thick book on the desk, the system prompted him that he had obtained the diary of Count Frando. Zai Xuan didn't say a word and immediately opened his diary. May 7, 1474. His skin grew paler and paler. The doctor in the territory treated me. Came here many times, but it seems to have no effect. Can I never go out in my entire life? Is this the only way to wait for death? May 10, 1474. My parents said they would buy me the person I always wanted. My father and mother are indeed the best. They will be back from the neighboring city in 2 days. I feel that even the time of waiting is happy. May 12, 1474. I received the terrible news that my father and mother were attacked by bandits, and both died. Tears flowed uncontrollably. If I hadn't made my father and mother buy that man for me, would they not have died? The funeral of my father and mother is over. As the only heir of the Frandio Count's family, I became the master of this house. But I am not happy at all. I became a solo artist. From now on, it will always be. July 4, 1474. Today, my servant caught a traveler. He secretly sneaked into the bottom of the house and broke off a cypress branch. He is about my age. He looks very close to my doll, so I'm very satisfied with him. I will make him stay with me in this house. On July 20, 1474, the girl said he had no name, so she asked him to be called Saley. We play in the water every day in the backyard. I am so happy. I finally made friends. I wish this could last forever. 1474, September 8th. I have a feeling of unease for some reason. On September 10th, 1474, Alfred returned, but I always felt he was different from before. Siley also seems to have something heavy on her mind. Something must have happened. November 9th, 1474. The mournful cries kept coming from outside the room. That was the scream of Sarana, the female kitchen supervisor, and Granny Mitch. Siley and Alfred are knocking on my door now. They must want to silence me. What should I do? After reading these diaries, Jaishuan finally understood the cause of the incident. Philandio was murdered from the very beginning. Doing these things must be the work of the evil hand that occupied the house. If Jaishuan guessed correctly, the culprit is the living ghost. Erguan has always been with Jai Xian, deciphering Suya Xian. It turns out that Visual is the culprit of this copy, the living ghost. Because all the secrets of the house have been cracked. Jai Xian now needs to escape safely from this. He saw the living ghost transforming into countless tentacles, fleeing to the Xian mansion. Unexpectedly, Jai Xian blocked all these attacks. Because Zai Xian had recognized his body early on, she was already prepared. You finally show your true colors. I'm still wondering how long you're going to be disgusting. After all, my patience is about to reach its limit. Humans, mere mortals, are surprisingly resilient. Actually, this is not difficult. That just means I'm a little smarter. Oh no. Maybe it's because you're too innocent. You hateful human. I must kill you here today. But now the home announcement has unlocked the skill restrictions. Almost instantly, countless lightning-fast figures appeared around him. Directly hollowed out the body window of the living ghost. The next second, lightning illuminated the entire body. Living Ghost is a B-class monster with the ability to copy other people's bodies and skills. However, in terms of combat strength alone, he can only be considered a C-class monster. I want to devour your body. I will take your life. After saying this, the Living Ghost rushed towards Zai Xuan. But a second before touching Zai Xian, the Living Ghost's tentacles stopped. The lightning chain had already firmly bound him. This feeling of wanting to fool others but being fooled instead. Moments later, several lightning chains again shot toward the Living Ghost. I am so envious. I want to live like a human being. As the smoke and dust gradually settled, Boruto's ghost was also killed by Zai Xian. You're quite good at calling me. Looking at it this way, do you have the potential to be a dog? But I'll let it go this time since you brought the key. When Zai Xian was about to leave, he looked back again. A little girl with golden hair appeared in the middle of the hall. Frandio was waving goodbye to them. I have done what I promised you. Goodbye. A flash of light. Zai Xuan and his group then withdrew from this level. Su Yashuan, who had just been turned into a dog, was clearly very unhappy. Zai Xian was checking the 2 skills he had just acquired. The commander's shouts are used to assist the team. Zai Xian generally does not need them. The illusion skill is pretty good though. Since you already knew about that puppy tree, you should have reminded me earlier. I thought I was really going to be late this time. It's enough to come out alive, but I still feel wrong. Now is not the time for idle talk. We should go to the next mission location. Let's go. We have completed 2 tasks in a row. Let's take a break and then go. Are you tired? You haven't done much since you started in the underground prison, have you? If you mean mental fatigue, as long as your body moves, your spirit will not be tired. Okay, let's go. From now on. Not many, just 2 people arrived at the last mission location. Could this be a parade? That's right, the last task. We'd better be careful. Welcome to Fantasy Paradise. I am the host today, Brew. We will present you with the most spectacular float parade. Clear the themed dungeon to obtain part of Tier 5's thunder. Zai Xian transforms into Tialfi and fights the Vikings in the first level. At the second level, she became a haunted house exploration streamer. The secret of the Count Frandiano's mansion was revealed. And now the final level is the float parade. Mr. Ming Zishuan, Ms. Su Yashuan, welcome. It seems that you 2 have successfully completed the first 2 tasks. You 2 have worked hard. I won't talk much nonsense. What is the last mission? The last task is simple, hide and seek. Do you see the door in front of you? There will be monsters there. What you 2 need to do is avoid it until you reach your destination. It shouldn't be this simple. Mr. Ming is indeed very clever. You are right. The monster that appeared in this hide and seek game. It will change based on your strength, which is the number of challengers in your happy garden and their fighting power. Let me first get an understanding of everyone's strength. Zai Xian realized that if calculated this way, it would be very difficult to protect Su Yashuan while also clearing the game. Congratulations, your rank is S level. This is the first time such a high level has appeared. It's really surprising. Before Zai Xian could say anything, Brun immediately started the game. Evade Shiro's clone attacks. Reach the stronghold alive or kill her clones. Zai Xuan quickly noticed that the number of participants was actually 3. He knew something was wrong, but he didn't have time to think about it now. Surtur is the fire giant and the guardian of Muspelheim. He existed before the giant Ymir was born. To burn the whole world is his only goal. It is said that the emerald flame Majin in his hand can turn the whole world into woof fish in an instant. Therefore, Zai Xian could only pull Su Yashuan to run away quickly. How can we get rid of that guy? I am also thinking of a way. If you don't want to die, shut up. It seems that because of my appearance, things have become like this. Should I go help them? You are so naughty. Obviously you don't want to help, but you are still here talking nonsense. Let them run, I want to see. Will he be able to survive this time? Zai Xian knew very well that clashing head-on with Surtur was too dangerous. Only if I can avoid a direct confrontation with him can I quickly find the stronghold. Look over there. The carousel should be the base. Great. Let's keep going. Zai Xian immediately activated his skill to increase speed, pulling Su Yashuan forward. Who is the foolish fellow who summoned this? before she could finish her sentence. After Zai Xian, countless fireballs fell. Listen carefully to what I have to say. From now on, we two will run separately. Just keep running towards the carousel. Brother, are you going to act like a child to distract him? Or are you going to act like a child? Run quickly. I will attract his attention. But compared to Xiert, Zai Xian's body was still too relaxed. I'm an asshole here. Hearing Zai Xian's voice, Xiert only then noticed his presence. He immediately shot a fireball at Zai Xuan. However, Zai Xian easily threw him out. With such a slow speed, you still want to catch me? Hearing this, Xiert slammed her fist down. It was at this moment that he noticed Su Yashuan standing beside him. Su Yashuan is about to reach the carousel. But the next carousel turned into a sea of fire in front of him. Past the last level of the theme dungeon, Zai Xian did not hesitate to challenge Xiert. Su Yashuan was about to reach the last step of the outpost. The stronghold turned into a sea of flames before their eyes. Foolish humans, how can you, mere mortals, stand against me, Xiert? At this point, there is only 1.5 moves left to pass the game. That is the esteemed Zunxing who eliminated Xiert. A fireball suddenly flew towards Zai Xian. However, Zai Xian simply reached out his hand and caught the fireball. So far, no one has been able to withstand my attacks. You do have some skills. But can you still block this move? Words because of Lo Shi Er Te fiercely appeased Jinxing. Zai Xian slowly extended his right hand. The situation is not optimistic now. If they continue like this, they will both die. Su Yashuan immediately activated thought acceleration, attempting to find a way to survive. Brother, I thought of it. I want to defeat Xiert half-son. At this moment, Zai Xian started to escape under Su Yashuan's direction. Foolish human, do you think you can escape? Wangzhou has to take 5 steps to reach you. Zai Xian immediately followed Su Yashuan's instructions. Unsurprisingly, Xiart's attack missed. They wanted to lure Shilter to the water tank. If the flame on him is extinguished, maybe I can stand on it. After all, he is just a clone of Xiert. If you can hit the vital spot, he will be dead for sure. I will use thought acceleration to predict his movement trajectory. We will lure him over there together. Take 3 steps to the left, then look down. Su Yashuan helped. Zai Xuan can now easily dodge Xiart's attacks. After a while, Zai Xian finally stopped. Weak human, have you finally given up on running away? Run away? My dictionary doesn't have the word, run away, Ertzi. You, the one who was beaten half to death by the Asgard, aren't you afraid of them now? Guarding the gate now? He actually said I'm weak. That's hilarious. What are you talking about? So you're afraid of me, a human? You bastard, I will never let you go. Shilta 1 arrow display. But he didn't expect that this was actually Zai Xuan's fantasy. The next second, the water in the tank surged towards him. After the flames on Xiert were extinguished, Zai Xuan knew the opportunity. Zai Xian's arrow hit his heart precisely. You actually use such despicable tricks. What's wrong with being despicable? As long as you win, that's all that matters. Although I'm currently using an avatar to fight you. But the true essence of power, that won't be easily defeated by you. As Xiert dissipated, Zai Xian and his team finally managed to conquer the main skin this time. It seems he really doesn't need my help. Is this his choice? This young man named Ming Zai Xian is truly courageous. He seems to be eager to become stronger. What do you think? Even so, he can only be said to have a little skill now. That being said, aren't you the one who cares most about Ming Zai Xuan's situation? However, the rebel's existence cannot be discovered by Ascension yet. Even if that war is Zai Xuan's destined naming, it is still too early now. To kill Odin, he needs to become even stronger. By defeating Skrull. Successfully obtained the S-level equipment, Double Jump. When equipped, grants 50 HP and 150 weapon power. Also grants an active skill, Light Supplement. It not only allows the user to double their score in 5 minutes, but also allows them to use it on others. After checking his own reward, Zai Xian turned his attention to Su Yashuan. You can tell by his looks. Su Yashuan also received good rewards. However, as a staff member of Zai Xuan, he had no secrets in front of Zai Xuan. The item I got is called the Roskanwa Seal. Equipping it will increase my HP by 50 points and absorb skill vouchers. This skill helps me escape capture, and increases my health and defense. Considering that this skill is not as good as Su Yashuan's thought acceleration effect, Zai Xian did not ask him for this equipment. It seems you're very happy with the reward for this task. Not bad. But thanks to you, it took me a lot of work. If there's nothing else, we'll leave now. May your journey be safe, destined rebel. Zai Xuan didn't expect Bluin to know his identity. He was about to ask him about the rebels. But Buren drifted elegantly away before his eyes. It was at this moment. The themed dungeon has been successfully cleared. Everyone, look over there. The survivors have come out. There were 2 survivors. They walked out safely. Seeing so many people surrounding her, Su Yashuan suddenly panicked. Everyone make way. This is not the time to chat with survivors. We need to follow the protocol. But Song Jishi hadn't finished speaking. Sai Xuan disappeared into thin air. This leaves only Su Yashuan. Tiao Jihun guessed that Sai Xian must have used the stealth skill. It shouldn't be invisibility. According to Jin Jian's report, Sai Xian is a magic user. If it weren't for invisibility, how could a mage have such speed? Because he is a melee fan. Sai Xuan came out. Liu Xingyan contacted him immediately and asked him to meet at the Lianhua Trade Union when he was free. He did such a big thing, and then he just disappeared. This child is really not honest. This disciple of mine, if I don't ask him, he definitely won't say anything on his own initiative. It seems I have to find some time to ask. Following Liu Xingyan's gaze, on the table was clearly the Miles Academy's Union Experience space. Meanwhile, Zai Xian had returned to his dormitory. With the help of the Lotus Union, there was no news about Zai Xian in the media. At that time, he didn't expect to stay there for so long. This also allowed him to successfully experience some things. Taiao Fai's thunderstep effect. Although this instance of dungeon crawling was a bit tiring, the overall gains were still quite substantial. Besides this S-class equipment, Zai Xuan also obtained a consumable item. Shiriter's Undying Soul can be used to enhance weapons to their peak, and attached with fire attribute. Moreover, this battle made Zai Xuan realize that he was still too weak. What he needs now is to be straightforward. The ability to easily defeat opponents. Only in this way can he protect every team around him. Even if the final enemy is the one who stands high above us. This ordinary dungeon NPC actually recognized Zai Xian's identity as a rebel. But Zai Xian did not wait for him to ask for more information. Brun has already turned into a spot of light and disappeared. Meanwhile, in the surveillance room of Miles Academy, Instructor Jingli Xiu. I'll leave this matter to you. I absolutely won't let you down. From now on, in class, I will report all of Zai Xian's actions to you. After Jingli Xiu left, Xiu Ziren immediately changed his mind. To want to grow flowers well. Then the weeds must be cleared first. This event is really something to look forward to. Finally, I can get rid of all those messy things. After returning to the academy, Zai Xian told everyone about being dragged into the instance. Is what you said true? No wonder I couldn't reach you on the weekend. I didn't mean to not pick up your call, so please forgive me. You know Auntie couldn't be reached all weekend. How worried are you? This is what I hid for you. So, as a reward, you have to treat me to a meal. Unlike today's friendship, Surina is more concerned about Zai Xian's physical condition. I'm fine, Reina. You don't have to worry too much. You've always been this lucky. Could it be that you're hated by God? Unbeknownst to them, Zai Xian was actually under divine protection. I just thought I saw a familiar face. So it's you. If you try to play tricks again this time, be prepared. Hearing this, Zai Xian immediately fell into deep thought. Jin Yuqing and Surina were also curious about who the person in front of them was. Li Xiuxian, no loud talking in the classroom. As a voice rang out, Instructor Jing Lixiu walked into the classroom. Seeing this, Li Xiuhun could only let Li Xiu go for now. Hello everyone. My name is Jing Lixiu. This semester, I will be teaching you all the Magic Calculation Understanding Convergence course. I will do my best to help you all improve your abilities. I hope all of you can keep up with my situation. This course is mainly to let everyone understand magic essentially. So the class will cover some topics about formulas. I would like to ask everyone, how much do you know about magic? Magic is a supernatural phenomenon based on formulas and manifested by infusing magic. Yes, magic is the study of causing certain phenomena through formulas. Having received the instructor's affirmation, Li Xiuhe immediately turned to Zai Xuan and demonstrated proudly. Now I will give you a book. This book records the basic formulas that can trigger the Earth Pole magic. These calculation formulas are also the foundation for all magic to be used in the future. And fully mastering this book is Ming's task this semester. After receiving the books, the students all started discussing because in their eyes, the book didn't have a single word. However, after receiving the book, Zai Xuan's expression changed slightly. And this detail was also completely seen by Jing Lixiu. Now I have a question for Ming Zai Xuan. Can you tell me what the text on this book says? The words in this book are like your writing. That's right. The text above is indeed as you wrote. This book is a magic book that can only be read by deciphering the mental calculation formula. Newborns usually take a week to be deciphered, but Zai Xian only got it just now and could only see the words on it. Then let me ask you another question. Do you know what the title of your article means? Hearing this, Zai Xuan couldn't help but let out a light laugh. He didn't know if it was his fate with the Aesir or another joke the Norn system played on him. The title of this book is unexpectedly Odin's Life and Basics Like You. Zai Xian fled the scene immediately after copying the document. Only Su Yashuan was left facing countless cameras. After returning home, he was already exhausted. Although he hated contacting Zai Xuan, he now had to find a way to prove it. Because Zai Xian has not yet terminated the subordinate relationship between the two. Therefore, Zai Xian could still control his every move. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but punch the bed. Su Yashuan suddenly thought of locating Zai Xian's position through this skill. Meanwhile, Zai Xuan was studying magic formulas in the library. All formulas will vary depending on how they are applied. For example, lightning chain. It's actually just attribute magic and chain magic. So as long as the foundation is laid well, even low-level magic, it can also produce different effects. For the Wudo department, after the proficiency of basic swordsmanship is improved, then he can master the intermediate swordsmanship, which is quite good for a magic user. This is an understanding of the formula. The deeper one can reach, the higher the realm they can attain. At this moment, Zai Xuan looked up at the two people beside him. They are not like Zai Xian, who can easily understand this area. No matter what, you can at least successfully understand the title. So unwilling. Obviously, I was the one who taught you magic from the beginning. As the saying goes, the blue is even bluer than the indigo, and it's perfectly normal for students to surpass their teachers in a blessed land. Just then, Surina suddenly exclaimed in excitement. That's great. I can finally see the content of the first chapter. Hard work always pays off. Congratulations on hearing Zishuan praise you like this. Surina's face turned red instantly. Then he buried his head in the book. Zishuan felt he seemed a little estranged from her. He thought it was because he had intentionally distanced himself from her. Damn, why am I the only one who can't see it? Jin Yoqing's sudden roar attracted the anger of many people. Zishuan could only quickly explain that this was not what he did. However, none of them knew that a crow was watching them outside the window. Until Zai Xian and his friends finished their day of study. The crow then flapped its wings and left. After a few people left, they came to Li Zaixiang's studio. Now they are going to name Li Zaixiang's potion shop. But for them, this is not a simple matter. After all, there has never been a magic potion shop industry so far. So they are worried that they will go bankrupt if there are no customers. For the inferior, the most important thing is survival. Therefore, the potion shop simply cannot manage. And you just tried it, so you should be clear about the effect of the recording. This can be said to be a revolution in the history of Leisure. It all started a few days ago. After passing the minor magic theory exam, everyone had a short break. To become stronger, Zishuan sold all the materials he collected from Haimingji. But this money alone wasn't enough for Zishuan to buy enough equipment. Therefore, he decided to let Li Zaixiang play to his strengths. This led to everyone gathering together to discuss the name of the magic potion shop. But at this moment, Su Yashuan stormed in, her face flushed with anger. You have to fulfill your promise before you leave. Zishuan was curious why Su Yashuan found him. You didn't cast a strange spell on me to make me behave. Hearing this, the faces of the two girls immediately changed. How can you use that skill to threaten children? Since you're here, take a seat on the empty space over there. Let me borrow your brilliant mind for a while. Also known as a super genius with an IQ of 150. However, he encountered a setback in his life when trying to name his potion shop. Because he wanted to name Li Zaixiang's shop Tianmo Moyao. The other two remembered the potion shop called Zaixiang and Alice's potion shop. Hearing these names, Zai Xian felt uneasy, even thinking about grabbing a random monster in the dungeon. Can all come up with better names than these? Why don't you ask for my opinion? It doesn't matter if you listen or not. Forget it, you should still tell me. How does the name Alice Hill Public Housing look? Alisier. This is a comparison of the idol scholars created by alchemists in the past. It is also a mysterious magic potion that can heal wounds and save lives. This name is good. It can also promote our magic potion. It can also enhance brand value. Zai Xian also involuntarily grabbed Jin Yoqing's shoulders. Thank you for saving my life. This is how the name of the magic potion shop was officially decided. After a short break, Zai Xuan and his classmates returned to their daily lessons. Zai Xuan is far ahead of everyone else in the magic calculation class. Therefore, almost all the questions in class were answered by Zai Xuan. And without exception, Zai Xian can give a very perfect. Thus, Li Xiuhui's extreme affection for Zai Xian increased day by day. Today's lesson ends here. Thank you for your hard work, everyone. Just as Xing Lixiu was about to leave, Zai Xuan suddenly called out. I have some questions while reading this magic guidebook, so I want to ask you for some advice. Seeing this book, Xing Lixiu panicked. because this was clearly a brand new magic guidebook. This book was difficult for even ordinary instructors to understand. He doesn't understand when Zai has reached this level, because Zheng Lixio could not help Zai Xian either, so he had to study it himself first. It is a pity that Zai Xian has made no progress during this time. Reluctantly, he had to ask his teacher Lu Xian for help. The 4-star magic book left the library. Zai Xian went straight to the Lotus Guild. You came earlier than I expected. I actually wanted to find you a long time ago. But I was busy preparing for the exam, so I was delayed. So you're here to ask me to help you interpret the 4-star magic book? Yes, with my current abilities, I am completely unable to understand the content of the book. It is possible to create new magic stories. Can remove magic. The misconception that renders everything void. Enhancements that can further amplify the power of magic. Both the algorithms and the theories need to be more complex. So far, Zai has only relied on the Odin Zai. Speaking of this, I can't tell you for sure. Zai Xian was curious why even S-level Lu Xinin couldn't help him. Concepts that appear in the 4-star magic guide. If you don't go and get to know it yourself, there is not a single page. Only you yourself can understand it, then you can step into the realm of A-level hunters. And smoothly interpreted the 4-star magic guidebook to become stronger. Zai found his master, Lu Xian, an S-rank magic hunter. But to his surprise, Lu Xinin couldn't help him decipher the 4-star magic tome. The content of this book can only rely on Zai himself to explain. Only by understanding himself can he step into the realm of A-rank hunters. For Zai however, it is only when he becomes an A-level hunter. Only then will there be a chance to take revenge on his father. However, since the student asked, this Taoist teacher can tell you a cultivation method. Zai was very curious why it was a cultivation method instead of an interpretation method. This cultivation method can help you comprehend the 3 concepts of body enhancement. How about it? Are you interested? Of course. As long as it can make me stronger. I am interested in everything. And the method that Lu Xinin mentioned was to cultivate with Gleipnir. After being bound by Gleipnir, Zai Xian's stats will decrease by 50%. During this period, Zai will repeatedly use a skill. And in this process, he continuously analyzed the magical eye division formula. Zai Xian did not understand. What is the relationship between the increase and this type of training? The relationship between these two needs to be understood by yourself. However, starting with too complex magic training would be too difficult. Magic arrow spells like this should be just right. Thus, Zai Xian took Gleipnir and began in the A2 combat space. Following Liu Xinen's team arrangement, Zai Xian could only use the magic sword arrow skill. Due to the effect of Gleipnir, Zai Xuan's various attributes have declined considerably. His body became heavy again. Monsters that could be easily killed in the past are now becoming difficult to deal with. Are you really okay like this? The smell of ointment on you. The smell can be detected even from 100 meters away. Do you know you've been living in the A2 battle space almost all week? It's best not to push yourself too hard. Thank you for worrying about me. But you should know that there will be a quiz in 2 days. Jin Yuqing, you probably haven't finished reviewing all the exam content yet. And Rina, I heard that if you fail again, you will have to stay back. It seems like it's time to go to the library. Rina, let's go. We can't stay here and chat with Zai Xian anymore. Zai Xian could only helplessly watch the two leave. After this, Zai Xuan came to the A2 combat space again. Although the current customs clearance difficulty is much higher than before. After a week of effort, Zai Xian finally passed level 41 flawlessly. It was at this moment that the magic arrow ascended to level 2, and Zai Xian finally understood the meaning of amplification. As the name suggests, Xingfu means the leap of a skill, which is the upgrade of the skill. With a solid understanding of a certain magic calculation formula, and the improvement of proficiency in using the skill, the power of skills will also be enhanced. However, at this level, the highest is only B class. Or it is the entry level of Class A attendees. Although Zai Xian's initial intention was to exploit, she is only close to Ji Nun. But now, there is indeed a teacher-student relationship between them. The whole screen was gold. Jin Shiji came to Qiu Ziren's office again. But Qiu Ziren didn't even look up at him this time. Jin Shiji knows. This is because I did not handle the simulation copy issue well. Mayor Li's labor union experience activity is ready. Much faster than I imagined. There's nothing much going on there, right? Please rest assured, this time we have prepared very thoroughly. Jin Shiji instructor, you did a good job. Everything that is created has its own purpose. Even at the moment he became useless. With the help of S-rank attendee Lu Xingen, the boy, relying on the devil's training, finally understood the meaning of amplification. He has now reached the level of a beginner. Zai Xian finally got a chance to breathe. But just then, he felt a familiar sense of belonging on campus. Do you want to come out yourself or should I go over there? Huang, not yet setting, Zai Xuan abruptly turned to face behind him. The magic of Manhwa instantly manifested from within him. He quickly sensed the crows lurking around. After seeing the number of people, Zai Xian revealed a dangerous look. Now these crows could let him try his strength. With her nimble form, Zai Xian easily dodged the crow's attack. He could even find the crow's expansion while dodging, and eager to counterattack. It seems you still don't know that your shelf has been removed by me. Huang had not yet fallen when the other two hidden crows rushed out. Zai Xuan realized that these crows were also a group of irrational creatures. But they dared to be so blatant in the academy. It seems Chiu Zi has also started to act. After a brief analysis, Zai Xian left. After all, no useful information could be obtained from these crows. I don't care what your purpose is. You have provoked someone you shouldn't have provoked. Zai Xian used magic arrows before Huang finished speaking. The magic arrow, which had been upgraded to level 2, easily killed 2 crows without fail. Just when Zai Xuan thought everything was over, he suddenly sensed a dangerous aura. So he immediately activated the magic barrier. Just then, a familiar figure appeared in front of Zai Xuan. In a flash, Zai Xuan was on high alert. How could you? Long time no see, my good-for-nothing son. Ling Qingao had not finished speaking when Zai Xuan activated the lightning chains. But these attacks were easily dodged by him. To see one's enemy, Zai Xian cannot calm down now. He continuously manipulated the lightning chains towards Ling Qingao. Perhaps impatient, Ling Qingao broke the lightning chain's attack with a single sword strike. And the remaining power of this sword forced Zai Xuan to stop failing. Although Zai Xuan acted immediately, he was still injured. Moreover, Zai Xuan couldn't even see his sword move. I just haven't seen you for a long time, so I came to see you. You've actually become quite stubborn lately. I don't need you to see me. I never considered you as my person. It seems you're here to chat. Let's get to the point. What is your purpose in coming here? You asked me why I came here? Actually, Ling Qingao is also curious. Why has Zai Xuan grown so much in such a short time? I'll ask you just one question. Have the Ace of Protoss dissenters contacted you? Hearing Min Qingao's words, Zai Xian's eyes betrayed his thoughts. So that's it. Seems like you don't need to answer me. Because her words fell, Luo Min Qingao immediately slashed his sword at Zai Xian. Zai Xuan immediately used a magic barrier to defend against his attack. Kuemo fa Pingzhang Gang Chu Xianjiu Bei Min Qingao de Jianqi de Sui. The remaining power of those sword energies severely injured Zai Xian. Zai Xuan didn't believe this was the strength of the extreme attacker. And he was curious why Min Qingao knew these things. You are going to kill me now. I will not kill you. But I will cut off your resignation here.